The story begins with a speed train arriving in Shanghai. The conductor saw an attractive sleeping passenger. All the passengers left the carriage. But this young man continued to sleep soundly. The conductor had to wake up the sleepyhead. She said they were in Shanghai. The smiling guy thanked the conductor for bringing him back from the realm of Morpheus, and hurriedly left the carriage. The crowded Shanghai is one of the top cities in the world. Neluang hadn't been here for 3 years. Now he is back in this metropolis. In an instant, the boy was drowned in the huge crowd and the noise of the streets. He seemed to be walking at a leisurely pace. A myriad of memories raged in Nelun's mind. He must have had many adventures in Shanghai. Time flies like an arrow. Everything flows, everything changes. The young man realized that Shanghai had changed dramatically in 3 years. But don't get too bogged down in past memories and sad about what you can't get back. You have to move on, or trust the escalator that is taking you to new adventures. Neluang thought that one of the main attractions of Shanghai was the beautiful women. Here, you can find beautiful women everywhere. They are all different and unique in their own way. This stranger immediately caught the guy's attention. He thought that a girl like that could be a killer. What kind of soul is this girl, and what does she hide deep in her heart? It's hard to say. After all, her soul and heart are hidden behind huge hills. This woman is good in all angles, lots of appetizing places everywhere. The boy followed the girl like a dog. I guess their paths must have crossed. Often we are not the ones looking for adventure, they quickly find us. Suddenly, right at the station, the thief pulled out a purse in the women. This was the beginning of our main character's new adventures on his return to Shanghai. You can't hide anything from an eagle's eyes. They see everything easily. The superhero immediately noticed the theft. He decided to return the purse to the pretty girl. The bandit was instantly caught in the act. There was no escape from the superhero's grasp. The imperturbable Neluang said that life sometimes makes us do desperate things, but he advised the bandit to give him the woman's wallet. The pickpocket was surprised to be caught. He asked the guy to stay out of his business. However, Nelun continued to hold the thief by the shoulder. He was completely unafraid of the criminal. The words didn't seem to have any effect on the bandit, so Neluang decided to use physical force. The pickpocket still wanted to intimidate the guy, so he went on the attack. The calm Neluang was not confused. He grabbed the thief's hand firmly. The goal was achieved easily and quickly. Apparently, the bandit realized that it was useless to resist, so he decided to get rid of the wallet. Nelun was ready to repel the thief's next attack at any second. He offered his opponent a challenge. The superhero's eagle-like confident gaze pierced the thief. The criminal was desperate and decided to retreat. Neluang was dissatisfied with the security service. Their work had to be done by himself. The superhero thought that the girl hadn't gotten far. He decided to urgently return her stolen wallet. Neluang finally caught up with the young woman. He asked her to stop. The girl heard her name being called. She turned her head gracefully at the call. It was the Gorgon's look. It was the look of a snake trying to lure a frog into its mouth. And this is the look on the rabbit's face when he sees a tasty carrot. A naive rabbit. The stranger suddenly asked for a guy to hold out his hand to her. Why does she need a man's hand? The superhero didn't expect this turn of events. He just wanted to return the wallet to the girl. Neluang thought that the stranger would write her phone number on his hand. Well, what else could she do with his hand? The girl made another earnest request as the superhero held out his hand to her. It didn't seem to be a request but an order. The astonished fellow said he did not want thanks, and he was greatly surprised at the insistence of the formidable stranger. But in the end, Neluang decided to give his hand to the girl. However, he kept his heart. It seems that our main character has met a real great chiromancer. Apparently now he will be told his fate by his hand. What's this? Are those the kind of wedding rings in Shanghai? Why is Nelun angry? What games has the attractive stranger decided to play with him? The confused superhero didn't know who he was facing. He didn't understand what the stranger was going to do to him. The girl turned out to be a police officer who tracks down pickpockets at the station. She said that Nelun had stolen a wallet. She told him to follow her to the police station. In no time, the superhero turned into a sleazy pickpocket. His reputation was ruined. The dazed guy tried to explain that he is not an elephant. Or rather, not a thief. After all, it was he who took the purse from the criminal and returned the stolen item. Do no good, and you won't get evil. The girl said that Neluang was not only a thief, but also a great liar. The poor guy didn't think he'd have such a fun meeting in Shanghai. Why is fate so cruel? The detainee walked too slowly and very reluctantly to the station. His back soft part of his body was injured because of this. The police officer's name was Tan Yin. She told her colleagues that she had apprehended a pickpocket and asked for backup. In fact, our protagonist was a secret agent, and now he's been arrested as a petty criminal in Shanghai. It's a free cab. All you have to do is do some little mischief and you get a free ride. The traffic police work around the clock. This is one of its offices. Fate is an unpredictable thing. A superhero secret agent finds himself in handcuffs. Police officer Tang Yin was ready to give the disgusting pickpocket a tough interrogation. For her, the law comes first. The detainee wasn't too sad, he was even smiling. The pickpocket's smile annoyed the police officer. Apparently she thought that the suspect was behaving very brazenly and self-confidently. Suddenly, the bold criminal said that the girl's police uniform suited her. She looks better in that uniform. Sometimes it is hard to look a police officer in the eye and answer questions clearly. There are things that confuse you and make your heart beat faster. The young, shameless man scrutinized the girl, and suddenly declared that something about the police officer was quite tiny. The bewildered girl blushed. She could not understand what was small. Was it her nose? The suspect became a psychologist for a moment. He began to calm the embarrassed girl and asked her not to get angry. Ne Luo Lun said that there was no need to attach importance to his words. He was just complimenting the girl. And to his belief, she seemed smaller and more slender in her uniform. The girl started asking questions. She asked what the detainee's name was. Many questions came to Nalun's ears. The police officer even asked what gender the pickpocket was. Tang Yin asked what the guy's occupation was. What does he do? What does he do for a living? The guy responded in a very calm manner. The suspect said he was a supervisor. The police officer obviously didn't like the answer. Apparently she thought the guy was lying to her once again. However, Ne Luang behaved very restrained. The guy said that what he said was the truth. He is the CEO of Angel Foundation. The police officer freaked out. She thought the guy's every word was a lie. The company Angel Foundation was founded recently. It is quite successful, and is known in almost all Eastern countries. The large company Angel Foundation has grown into a commercial giant in just 3 years. Isn't our main character the CEO of this company? The infuriated police officer was convinced that the boy was a member of a pickpocketing ring. She wanted to know Nelun's position in the group and who his accomplices were. The poor man was already tired of the same questions. He thought the girl was too annoying and untrustworthy. A restless police officer asked for proof that the guy was innocent. She had to prove he wasn't an elephant. The exhausted guy was too tired. He was beginning to suspect that the girl was just crazy. Her questions seemed devoid of any logic. The guy reiterated that he couldn't be a thief. He returned the wallet himself, and the money's still there. The police officer demanded even more evidence. She persisted in considering the detainee highly suspicious. The angry girl took the purse. She was drowning in her own anger and furious that she could not bring the criminal to justice. Ne Luang tried to return the wallet. After all, it was one of the proofs of his innocence. The interrogation reached a dead end. The girl thought that the young man just wanted to deceive an honest and valiant police officer. The cocky guy continued to sarcasm. He reminded me that you don't go to jail for being suspicious. You need hard evidence that he's guilty. During the interrogation, even the furniture was damaged. The girl hit the table hard and asked where the suspect lived. The tired guy replied that he lived in a cousin's house. Apparently he had had enough of this circus. But the police officer wanted to know the exact address of the young man's residence. Was she going to visit him? Ne Luang said he lived in Shanghai on Longtan Garden Street, Building 5, Apartment 201. Will they not believe him again? Another paper. There are so many of them at the police station. The police officer hesitated for a moment. She asked for the name of the suspect's cousin. The guy said that his cousin's name was Ouyang Zhenyuan. This answer seemed to confuse the girl. The dazed girl seemed to be thinking about something or someone. A sweet smile played on her face. Suddenly she said that she didn't think the guy was a pickpocket. The naive boy thought the truth had prevailed. Now he would be uncuffed for sure. But the girl became serious again. She declared that Ne Luang might not be a thief, but he was a real cheat. The officer didn't believe that the guy was the CEO of a big company. The police officer further said that there are no cousins in Ouyang Zhenyuan. She asked her not to be misled and not to make a fool of her. The guy didn't give up. He suggested that the police officer check the information he had given and then accuse him of something. For the first time, the girl decided to do as Ne Luang advised. She took it upon herself to verify the information she had received from the detainee. In a flash, the girl called back directly to cousin Ne Lun. Her face shone with happiness. Ne Luo Lun was extremely surprised. Why did the girl agree to call his relative back so quickly? And why was she calling his cousin uncle? Those eyes are quite sweet and friendly. Not so long ago, they were sparkling with anger. How quickly people's moods change. The police officer reported that the cousin was on his way. She was sure that Ne Lung would soon be proven guilty. But the criminal wasn't worried. He just couldn't understand how this girl knew his cousin. It looked like the guy was even glad that his relative was coming to visit them. After all, then he could save money on a cab. The police officer smiled wryly. She was sure that she was never wrong and her work would not be in vain. 20 minutes passed, but no one came. Did Ouyang Zhenyuan not want to see his brother? The girl greeted her uncle. The man was also glad to meet her, but he didn't understand why he had been summoned so urgently. Pointing a finger at Naloon, he clarifies with the man if the guy is his cousin. The man was amazed at such an encounter at the station. The boy calls out to his cousin. He was just as glad that the man had come for him. The man calls the guy his cousin. Zhen Yuan comes closer and puts his hand on Naloon's shoulder. He wonders when the guy arrived and why he didn't warn him. Naloon explains that he was arrested by an officer as soon as he arrived at the train station. Taking the guy under his shoulder, the man adds that Tan caught the wrong guy, since Naloon is really his cousin. The girl was taken aback by such a statement. Tan couldn't believe that all this time her uncle had another cousin. The girl was confused, blaming herself for her incompetence. With a smile, Naloon asks for his handcuffs to be removed, hinting that he is the girl's uncle after all. Still flabbergasted, Tang interjects to ask if Nilun is an uncle. Naloon explains that since the girl calls his cousin uncle, he automatically becomes her uncle. The girl throws her keys at the guy out of anger, adding that he's an insolent scoundrel inciting her. Naloon manages to dodge. Upon exiting the station, the man walks Naluna to his car. The guy feels that he was not exactly welcomed at the police station. A man invites Naloon to get into his car. Putting down his bag, the guy gets in the back seat with the man. Zhen Yuan couldn't forgive himself for such hospitality. He blamed himself for coming to Shanghai like this. The guy declares that he doesn't care, suggesting that we discuss more important things. After all, he was invited by Fatty Luo to find a man in Shanghai. Nilong wonders if the guy knows why he had to come to the city. Zhen Yuan was amazed that the guy was calling the General Fatty Luo. He assumed that Naloon was the only one who could afford such a thing. The man suggests we discuss this later and visit his home first. Zhen Yuan's driver slowly headed towards the man's house. After overcoming the barrier at the entrance of Zhen Yuan Manor, the car stops at the entrance. The boy wondered where they had arrived. He was partly amazed at the scale of the house and the plot itself. The man suggests that the young gentleman should not linger and follow him. After entering the luxurious house, the man calls out to his daughter Bo Jae. The guy continued to look at the expensive furniture and the house in general. The man repeatedly inquires if his daughter is at home. A girl was shown on the second floor. Nellin assumes that this is Zhen Yuan's daughter. The girl slowly descends from the second floor. The guy is amazed by the girl's appearance. Bo wondered with a smile if her father had a meeting scheduled. The man smilingly asks Nilun how he feels about his daughter Bo Jae. The guy rates the girl an 8 out of 10. The girl with a serious face wonders who this guy is. Zhen Yuan introduces the guy as a PhD who came back from overseas. Bo proposes to her father to renew their friendship. Not listening to the girl, the man pushes her to Nalun. He asks her to underestimate his daughter, because she is one of the top 10 talented piano students. The guy and the girl froze. They looked at each other in silence. Zhen Yuan adds that the couple is to get married in 2 months. Everyone was stunned by such a statement. The girl angrily states that she doesn't understand how her father came to this and is trying to pass it off as a stranger. The man with a serious face reminds her that the couple has 2 months to get acquainted. Tired of arguing, the girl sits down on the couch. She declares that she will never marry a stranger in her life. Naloon notices that the girl is much nicer when she is angry. The girl calls the guy a rascal, after which she throws a pillow. With a smirk, the guy adds that even though the girl acts like a girl, Bo still has feminine features. The girl got even more angry, after which she decided to attack the guy. Naloon assumes that Zhen Yuan's daughter is not only practicing piano, but also studying martial arts. Swinging her leg, the girl tries to hit the guy. Naloon manages to catch Bo's leg. The girl couldn't understand why she couldn't move her leg. The boy lowered his head, after which he throws the girl aside with all his might. Bo falls on the couch before he can react. The guy is writing down a greeting to the girl. Unable to admit defeat, the girl reiterates that she's going to finish the guy off. The man, not wanting to continue watching the fight, manages to grab the girl's fist. He reminds her that it is not proper for a decent girl to fight. Frustrated, the girl wonders why her father is siding with an unknown guy. Zhen Yuan reminds her that Naloon is now her fiancé and should not be treated like that. Without listening to her father, the girl abruptly runs upstairs, saying that she no longer loves her father. The man runs after the girl. Naloon watches in silence. After catching up with the girl, the man explains that he had his own reasons for doing so. After pushing her father's hand away, Bo decides to complain to her grandfather. Zhen Yuan silently watches as the guy sits down at the table in the living room. The man explains that the guy holds 25% of the stock in his entire company. He also reminds her that the company's business is doing poorly. The girl covers her mouth and suggests that her father has sold her out. Zhen Yuan explains that this is a temporary measure, and he will cancel the engagement when the time comes. The girl decides to question whether her father is telling the truth. Covering his eyes, the man declares that this is the purest truth, and he swears it. Through her tears, Bo adds that her father needs to hurry, as she won't be able to bear it for long. The girl closes the door in her father's face. Back in the living room, the man holds out a letter of recommendation from the university. Genuan adds that from tomorrow, the guy will study together with Boji to develop a mutual relationship. Putting out his cigarette, Nalun wonders what the man meant by claiming marriage. Genuan explains that it is old man Ye's idea. Heading for the exit, the man explains that he has a couple meetings to attend. The boy is left alone in the living room. The whole house was at his disposal. At this moment in the office, a large man inquires about Zifeng's current whereabouts. One of the subordinates reports that the boy is currently staying with Mr. Yu Young. The man wonders what the guy knows. It is unclear to him what else the guy needs when there is so much money. The man reminds them that they have protocol to follow and obey. One of the subordinates suggests that since the guy is in Shanghai, the situation in the city might escalate. The chubby man thinks that as long as the guy is in Shanghai, it won't happen. The subordinate recalls the Shanghai Dragon Soul Team massacre, and the fact that after losing 9 people, no one ever appeared there again. The plump man stands up from the table. He adds that Genuan is an excellent target to identify all the opportunists. They only have to wait. The man wishes to identify absolutely all of these people. The subordinate reminds him that the guy is only one. A chubby man interjects that one. He explains that the guy doesn't fight alone, as he has the soul of the dragons behind him. One of the agents wonders why his boss decided to marry a guy to the daughter of the Ouyang family. The man explains that it is a good cover and unobstructed access to the Ouyang family's home. At that moment, the supervisor's cell phone rings. The man assumes it is Nelun. The man greets the one with a smile as Soapy Feng. The guy calls him Fatty Lo. He wasn't happy about this and plans to go back right now and blow up Fatty's office. The man explains that it's an order from the old chief that Nilun listens to. Feng clarifies that his mission is to Shanghai, namely to marry Genuan's daughter. The man confirms this. After listening to Fatty Lo, the guy hangs up the phone and lights a cigarette. Feng notices the open door to Boje's room. Deciding to look inside, the guy observes the girl's underwear. He was surprised that Bo didn't close the door to the room. Walking inside, the guy observes a girl in a towel outside the bathroom door. Undeterred, Feng heads for the door, assuming since he's the groom, he has the right to glance in with impunity. At this moment, a girl comes out of the shower. She was excited by Feng's presence. The guy kept staring at the girl in the towel. It made Bo scream at the guy. The girl throws a mirror at the guy, adding that no one allowed Feng to enter her room. With a smile, the guy explains that it's just a misunderstanding. Bo, still angry at Feng's act, decides to kick the guy. The guy tries to stop the girl. Girl lands a shoulder strike on guy's shoulder, but guy manages to get his head out of the way in time. Without any words, the guy pounces on the girl and takes her by the legs. Feng takes the girl in his arms, which made the girl even more indignant. Bo continued to call the guy a scoundrel. The guy puts the girl on the bed and heads for the exit at a pace. The girl kept calling the one a shameless rascal. Walking out the door, Feng said goodnight to Bo. As the door is ajar for a second, the guy spots the girl's matching Hello Kitty underwear, winking. The girl throws a pillow toward the door, but the guy manages to close that one. Evening comes and Feng decides to take a shower before going to bed. After waiting for the guy to go into the bathroom, Bo goes into the room and pours the itching powder on the bed. The girl laughs evilly at what she did. She wanted to teach the guy a lesson. The girl with a smile imagined the guy lying on the bed and her taking pictures of that having a thing for blackmail. An hour passed, but Feng still hadn't gotten out of the shower. The girl began to yawn. She didn't understand why the boy hadn't crawled to his bed yet. Trying to stay awake, the girl takes herself by the cheeks. She wished she had taken this picture. At this time, the guy was nonchalantly still lying in the hot tub. The guy's body was covered in a huge number of scars and bullet wounds. The boy lay there and remembered the time that had passed on the battlefield, remembering those terrible moments and how his comrades died. One of his friends tries to stop the guy, as he was under a hail of gunfire. The boy noted that it had been quite some time since those events, but he still couldn't forget it. Feng notices some movement outside the door. The guy slowly comes out of the bathroom. Seeing that it's already dawn outside the window and he's been in the bathtub all this time, the guy puts on his clothes and decides to check who is behind the door. Opening the door wide, the girl falls right into Feng's arms. Bo immediately wakes up. She was embarrassed to be so close to the guy. The girl was both scared and terrified at the same time. She asked to be released immediately. With a smirk, Feng calls the girl his wife. He wondered why the girl was peeping at him all night. The girl blushed heavily. She claimed she hadn't been peeping, but had merely been mooning at night. The guy states that sleepwalking is treatable, and she should look into it. Pushing the guy away, Bo replies that he shouldn't think about it. The girl ran out of the guy's room in embarrassment. Bo thought about how she was going to get Feng out the door. The guy remarked with a smile that the girl was very cute when she was angry. It was already pretty clear outside, which was the reason why the guy decides to take a walk. Walking down the street, the guy tried to find a quiet place to practice. Upon reaching a small lake, Feng was comfortable with the place, where he decided to settle down. While warming up, the guy decides to remember martial arts. While practicing his leg kicks, the guy notices movement behind his back. Turning around, the guy observes an older man watching him. As the man gets closer, he notices that Feng has a remarkable fighting technique. The guy rubs the back of his head and explains that he was specifically looking for a secluded place where he wouldn't be noticed. The older man adds that he sees nothing wrong with practicing. The man decides to suggest that the guy get into a sparring match with him. The boy didn't know what to say to that suggestion. The man adds with a smile that he shouldn't have even suggested such a silly thing. Feng explains that it's not about desire, it's about his inexperience, so the guy doesn't want to disappoint the man. The man decides to have a light sparring session after all, standing up in a stance and exchanging a few techniques. Feng notices that the man is a martial arts master. The man performs another technique and hits Feng's arm. Feng adds that the man is quite a skillful craftsman. The man also notices that the guy is quite strong. He wonders who Feng is. The sun had risen high enough, illuminating the entire clearing where the sparring was taking place. Feng decides to end this situation somehow, not wanting to show his true strength. So the guy misses one of the man's next strikes. Feng remarks that he's not good enough, which is why he missed a punch. Feng thanks the man for providing the sparring, calling the man a mentor. The man turns to Feng with a smile. He remarks that he noticed how the guy lost that sparring session on purpose. Unable to think of what to say, Feng grins at the man. At that moment, Tang comes to the lake and asks the man to hurry, as the whole family is already at the table and only waiting. Feng remembers the girl, noting that the world is small enough. The girl also notices the guy. The man smirks silently to the side. After waving to Tan, the guy tries to say hello to the girl. Tan, with a shout, tries to figure out what Feng has forgotten in their neighborhood. Looking away, the guy jokingly wonders if he's breaking any laws. The girl gets even angrier at this and decides to leave. After picking up her grandfather, she walks him back home. The man wonders if his granddaughter knows the guy. Tan silently waves him away. Turning around, the man suggests another sparring session the next day. Feng waves to the man with a smile. The girl continues to walk the man to the house. Tang finds it strange that the guy is in their neighborhood. After all, Ouyang took Feng away from the station. Frightened, the girl realizes that her uncle has put a guy in Ouyang's villa. Gritting her teeth, the girl decides not to let the guy hurt Bo Jae. The man decides to clarify who the guy is after all. The girl calls the guy a liar who pissed her off at work. The man adds that Feng is still a relative of Zhenyuan. The girl explains that she doesn't fully understand everything, because she hasn't managed to dig up any information about the guy's life. It's like everything he's done has been wiped clean. The man states with a smirk that this is interesting enough. The girl wonders what her grandfather meant by interesting. The man asks not to pay attention, adding that it is likely that some people will get in trouble. The man calls Feng a good ally who will help solve many of the Ouyang family's problems. Outside the window, it was already noon. Feng had finished his walk and was heading home. After arriving at the mansion, the guy slowly heads inside. After deciding to make breakfast, the guy heads to the kitchen. Feng walks in and sees Bo Jae sitting at the table. The guy smilingly greets the girl, calling her his wife. Bo looks at the guy in surprise. A girl asks a guy to make her breakfast himself. With a smirk, the guy explains that dry bread and cold milk is not a nutritious breakfast. Looking into the refrigerator, the guy observes a large amount of food. Feng wonders why the girl didn't make herself a proper breakfast. Bo replies that it's none of the guy's business. Not wanting to be around Feng, the girl heads to her room to watch TV. Bo silently sits down on the couch and turns on the TV. The guy looks at the girl with a smile before turning around and starting to make breakfast. The girl continues to watch TV without paying attention to what's going on in the kitchen. Smelling the odor, the girl doesn't hold back and looks into the kitchen. She notices that it smells pretty good. The guy finishes fussing in the kitchen and puts some delicious noodles on the table. Feng invites the girl to taste his dishes with a smile. The girl, unable to hold back, slowly approaches the plate of noodles. He swallows hard from such a smell. Remembering who's in front of him, Bo stops daydreaming and turns away from the guy. Folding her arms, the girl considers not buying into such tricks with a plate of noodles. With a smirk, the guy lifts the noodles, reminding her how delicious they are. The girl blushes, thinking it's just noodles and she's not really interested in such things. Feng decides to end the argument by hinting that if the girl doesn't want to eat, he will taste both portions himself. Bo realizes that the guy is teasing her on purpose, prompting her to realize that it's pure provocation. At this point, the girl's stomach suddenly starts rumbling. Continuing to eat the noodles, the guy asks not to torture himself, Bo, and still taste the noodles, because it will get cold soon. In her mind, the girl thinks that she will take and eat the noodles for evil, so that she will have the strength to keep fighting Feng. Taking the chopsticks and lifting the noodles, the girl can once again smell the aroma of the cooked noodles. The girl was greatly embarrassed by such delicious noodles. Bo couldn't believe that a guy could make such delicious noodles. After slapping herself on the cheeks, the girl tries to wake up as she thinks it's just a hallucination. Feng decides to find out if the girl likes his noodles. Not wanting to praise the guy, the girl calls the noodles normal for a country dish. Having finished all the noodles, the girl felt great. The guy smirked imperceptibly at that. Remembering exactly who made the noodles, the girl gets up from her chair and reminds him that she's not buying just any noodles. After all, she could use a little thing like that to kick him out of the house. The guy comes closer and tries to find out exactly what Bo doesn't like about him. The guy gets closer to the girl's face. He decides to clarify if the girl liked the noodles or if they are still not tasty enough. The girl, blushing too much, thinks the guy's noodles were too spicy. Bo abruptly grabs a glass of water from the table. The girl volleyed a glass of water, which Feng was not thrilled about. The guy notices that the girl is drinking from his glass. Bo spits the water out sharply. Throwing the glass at the guy, Bo abruptly leaves the kitchen, slamming the door behind her. Taking the chin, Feng suggests that this constitutes an indirect kiss. The girl heads to the garage to get the car. Feng decides to ask Bo to wait for him. The girl is greatly pissed off by Feng's presence, so she doesn't respond to the guy's requests in any way. The girl quickly gets into the car and buckles up. The guy manages to make it to the car. Feng opens it and reminds him that the girl should not walk so sharply, because she might get indigestion. Pointing her finger at Feng, the girl demands that the guy stop calling her wifey. With a smirk, the guy asks the girl to calm down and stop blending in like that. The girl asks Feng to leave the car as she is late for a couple. The guy explains that he needs a couple too, since they are now in the same college. The girl doesn't believe it and demands that the guy get out or she will call the police. Feng recalls that it was Bo's father who enrolled him in the courses at the Shanghai Art Academy. The girl couldn't believe her ears. The guy adds that they should hurry up, as they might be a couple days late. Gritting her teeth, the girl calls the guy a freak. Feng's mere presence pissed her off. The girl sharply hit the gas with anger and switched speeds. Feng was shocked by this. The girl is speeding down the highway, heading towards the city. The guy holding onto the handrail reminds her that they are in the city limits, not on a racetrack. The girl is not interested in this, and offers to get out to the guy. With a smirk, the guy recalls being a regular at illegal races. The girl stops abruptly and demands that Feng get out of the car. The guy looks around and interjects, since they were headed to the university. The girl explains that the guy should walk 100 meters and turn left. The guy asks if his wife will go with him. The girl repeatedly demands that he get out. With a smirk, the guy gets out of the auto. Shoving his hands in his pockets, the guy agrees. The girl asks Feng to stop. The guy notices that the girl is already lonely without him. The girl asks not to tell anyone about the situation they are in now. Taking in the back of his head, the guy agrees with the girl. With a smirk, the guy clarifies if he is to be rewarded for his obedience. The girl, holding something behind her back, interjects about the award. Stepping closer to the guy, Bo punches the guy in the stomach with all her might. She clarifies if it was for the reward. It makes the guy curl up in mimicking pain. At this point, he anticipates danger and reacts immediately. The guy grabs the girl and throws himself to the floor, covering Bo's body. Several bullets hit right through the side window of the car. An assailant with a gun looks out of a blue passing Jeep. The unidentified man has his face completely covered. The girl screams in fear, clinging to the guy. A guy decides to kiss a girl on the lips. The girl closes her eyes and kisses the guy back. Unknown persons, seeing no other way out, immediately try to escape. The girl pressed her whole body against the guy. Feng was fine with that. The girl looked at the guy with confusion. Bo clarifies with a shout if the guy is looking for death. The guy explains that he did it to save Bo J. Pointing a finger up, the guy offers to do it again one more time. Out of anger, the girl pushes the guy aside. After coming to her senses, the girl gets back behind the wheel. She was still embarrassed by Feng's action. Embarrassed, the girl points out that the guy isn't really that useless. The guy, smirking silently, continued walking towards the university. Crossing the road, the guy thought the whole event was strange. Feng realized that the unknown's target was actually Ouyang Bo-jae. The lad was gradually beginning to realize the purpose of his arrival in Shanghai. The guy was reviewing his college application. Feng wondered what other surprises Bo-jae would bring. Reading the document, the guy continues walking down the street. Feng looks around. He assumes that he should report to Rector Yang to formalize his admission. Upon arriving at the Shanghai Academy of Art, it seems to the guy that the building looks more like some kind of cathedral than an educational institution. Putting his hands in his pockets, the guy silently walks past the crowd and heads into the enclosure. Approaching the rector's door, Feng assumes that it is behind this door that his office is. Feng decides to knock on the door before going in. Strange sounds could be heard outside the door. A woman's voice called the rector adorable, which greatly startled Feng. The boy stood outside the door for a bit, but still decided to go in. Opening the doors, Feng greets the rector with the purpose of asking one question. The girl in the rector's office notices the door opening. The girl and the rector were startled by the boy's presence. The rector gets up from the couch and demands to explain himself to Feng, clarifying which group he's from. Picking at his ear, the guy explains that he's just come about it. The rector, slightly annoyed, asks the student to come out and knock again. With a smirk, the guy turns around and heads for the exit. Stepping out the door, the guy closes it behind him. After a few seconds, the guy knocks again and the rector allows him to enter. The rector and the embarrassed girl stood by the table in costume. The man immediately clarifies the purpose of Feng's visit. The girl fearfully heads for the exit. The guy puts in an application and explains that he's here to enroll at their university. The man explains that it's not September anymore, and all filing deadlines have long since passed. Feng still looked at the rector with a smile. The rector orders the guy out of his office. The guy introduces himself as Ye Zifeng, and also reminds him that these are recommendations from Ouyang. The man was startled by this. He interjected, "It was from Ouyang Zhenyuan." The man runs up to the guy and explains that he is aware of the guy's arrival, and the guy shouldn't worry. The rector immediately bustled about and decided to offer to give a tour of the university, as well as guide me to the correct classroom. Putting his hands in his pockets, the guy heads towards the exit, Feng thanking Rector Yang for such hospitality. The man leads the boy down the hall. Feng follows nonchalantly. The man is very concerned about what has happened. The guy averts his gaze and explains that he doesn't remember anything of the sort. The man rejoiced, adding that Feng would go far. Slowly, the rector leads the boy to the rehearsal room. The man knocks several times, wanting to enter the office. The boy, along with the rector, walks into the office. There was a girl sitting at the piano. She turned her head toward the rector and looked at him questioningly. The rector asks Feng Lan to come over for a moment to talk. The girl slowly approaches the man and clarifies what the man wanted. The rector explains that the guy's name is Feng and he's starting a piano major. A man introduces Feng Yu, a girl, as his first-year piano teacher. The rector says goodbye, eager to get back to his work. He confides in Feng, Lan's teacher. Fen pulls his hand out of his pocket and greets his new teacher. The girl silently turns around and asks not to detain anyone. Feng, not understanding the girl, continues to stand. Sitting down at the piano, the girl asks to take Feng's seat. The entire auditorium was filled with a large number of students. In the middle row was Bo Zi. The girl tried to cover herself with her textbook so the guy wouldn't notice. Feng took a quick look around the hall and saw where Bo Zi was sitting. After climbing a few steps up, the guy slowly sits down next to the girl. The girl was even more angered by Feng's presence. The guy put his hands behind his head and sprawled out at his desk. The entire audience was surprised that the newcomer sat next to Goddess Ouyang. Everyone was quietly talking about it. The girl smirkingly decides to teach Feng a lesson. The teacher sitting at the piano asks the entire audience to calm down as they continue the learning process. The pair ended and the bell rang. The whole group slowly began to get up and pack. Bo gets up from her desk and asks everyone to wait because she was planning to make an announcement. The girl purposely steps her heel on Feng's foot, causing him to stand up as well. The girl hugs the guy and calls him her fiancé. The whole audience could not believe what they heard. Everyone sharply began to discuss such a sensation. One of Bo's classmates demands that the others notify the others of Bo Jay's engagement party. Feng whisperingly decides to clarify if Bo was unwilling to hide the relationship. Folding her arms, the girl announces that she has decided to change her mind. The guy hugs the girl with words that he is very happy. The girl with a smirk assumes that the guy will soon get a dark one. Expecting a trick, the guy also realizes that everything is not for nothing. Voices are heard in the courtyard outside the university. One of the guys claims to the other that he attacked the wrong person. The guy with the black belt trains martial arts. One of the subordinates runs into the hall and announces that he has some bad news. There was a taekwondo club in one of the university buildings. One of the subordinates runs into the hall and announces that he has some bad news. The guy turns around and looks at his subordinate with a fist. After cooling down from sparring, the guy wonders what happened and what it's all about. A subordinate walks up to the boss and starts whispering something in his ear. The guy gave him an angry look, clarifying if he was sure of what he was saying. The subordinate was slightly startled. He explained that Bo Jay herself had stated this to the entire audience. Guy suggests to his club president that he take care of it himself. Take a few guys and teach the upstart a lesson, since Feng doesn't have the guts to fight them off. The president of the club was greatly angered by what was happening. The guy still decides to add that he doesn't need any help, because Bo Jay has been playing these games since she was a kid. The subordinate still asks them to think over their decision, because it is not typical for them to let everything go down the drain and watch. The president believes that they should not do something about the smallest things. The president puts his hand on the guy's shoulder and offers to watch the free circus from the sidelines. The guy agrees to stay back and watch Jin Juming deal with him. Folding his arms, the president nods approvingly in response. One of the buildings at Shanghai University of the Arts, baseball club. Several students report to Min the statement of engagement citing such a serious insult to the Lord. Everyone involved in the club states that they cannot stand by and watch what is happening, adding that the basketball club will be made fun of. One of the guys holds out his hand. He explains that the young gentleman need only nod in his direction and they will deal with him immediately. Min silently pondered the situation. With a smirk, the guy adds that those should not be circumspect. Guy declares that to undertake anything she thinks is exactly in the spirit of Feng Lan, for Ming despises such a fee. A club member clarifies what their plan is in the end. A guy asks two guys to bring him his car keys. Min orders those to go and get him a bouquet from there. The guy decides to confess his feelings, so Feng has to get out of there. All the club members were delighted with such a marvelous plan from Min. The guy adds with a smirk that he doesn't have much faith in what's going on. The guy couldn't believe there were people who weren't afraid of power and money. Everyone returns to the piano class for the next pair. At this moment, Feng's fatigue made him lie on the table. He was having a hard time from all of this. Feng notices some noise. One of the guys confesses his love to Bojie, offering to be his girlfriend. A noise came from the speaker opposite the board. It was Jin Zuming offering to take care of Bo for the rest of his life. All the girls were maddened by such a confession from Jin. Feng does not react in any way to such a statement. Bo stares at the boy silently. The girl believed that she could send Feng far and wide. The pairing ended and all the students slowly began to walk out of the piano class. At the entrance was a huge crowd of people in 2 luxurious cars, blue and red in color. Bojie slowly walks out of the classroom and observes all of this. The crowd stood near the carpeted walkway and watched Bojie walk out. Everyone was enraptured by the girl's beauty. Feng was walking next to the girl, but it was of little interest to anyone. It was the girl that everyone was admiring. The entire crowd shouted that Ouyang had finally left the classroom and was heading towards Min. In his thoughts, Feng wasn't too happy about it. After all, someone dared to steal his wife without permission. The pair slowly approached Min's beautiful red car. Moving closer, the couple stops in front of the guy. Mine leaned nonchalantly on his brand new sports car. Behind the guy's back stood the entire baseball team in uniform. All the girls in the crowd were awestruck by such beauty. Many people have noticed Master Min's beauty, especially how beautiful his car is, as well as the roses. One of the guys in the crowd thought the whole thing was a show, believing that both candidates were talentless. The other guy remarks that Min did confess, and so the guy next to Ouyang is going to suffer now. Min looks at Ouyang with a smile, then slowly heads towards that one. Fan was disgusted to see this, for he thought that old-fashioned swiping wouldn't fly anymore. Min comes closer and kneels down with his head bowed. The guy slowly pulls out a small red box and holds it out to the girl. Inside the box was an expensive ring. Everyone watching was amazed at this development. Min gives his speech and offers to marry him, for they were born for each other. The girl wasn't happy with this turn of events, after all. All she wanted was for the students to deal with Feng. The girl didn't know what to say to Min's words. Feng stood silently by the side and watched what was happening. In his thoughts, Ming remarked that Feng couldn't compare to him because he had the luxury car and diamond ring. Without further ado, the guy reaches out his hand to Bojie, whereupon he slowly grabs the girl by the waist and pulls her against him. The guy explains with a smile that his wife is already engaged and therefore Min should behave more appropriately. Min gritted his teeth with anger. He was angered by Feng's presence. The guy starts yelling with questions about who Feng really is to her. With a smile, the girl explains that Feng is her fiancé. The guy couldn't believe what he heard. He remarked that Feng didn't look good, and in general, the guy didn't dare to call himself a groom. With a smirk, Feng interjects what exactly is wrong with him, calling Min a gigolo. One of Ming's group indignantly shouted out who Feng called a gigolo, demanding that the guy take his hands off the beautiful Bojie. The other members of the baseball club were also angry, from which they slowly approached Feng. The baseball club completely surrounds Feng and Bojie. The girl noted to herself that Feng would be in trouble at this point. She grinned at the baseball team coming closer and closer. The girl wondered how the guy would sort it all out. Feng silently smiled at everyone, after which he took the girl's hand. Feng slowly approached the girl's face. After that, he kissed her on the lips. Bojie was astonished by such an act. All the guys in the crowd were surprised by newcomer Feng's action. Feng continues to kiss the girl for a long time. Bojie looked at the guy with embarrassment. She blushed at such an act. Finished, Feng continued to hug the girl. Feng adds that Min was too lenient, as today Feng not only hugged his wife but also kissed her in front of everyone. Feng gently holds Bojie's waist, showing his closeness with her. Feng assures that from now on Ouyang Bo is his fiancé, and now Ming better not go near her. The girl, blushing, looks at Min's reaction. Min smirked, noting that the guy was quite brave, the likes of which he hadn't seen at the university in a long time. One of Min's subordinates swings a bat at Feng, saying that he wants to test how strong he is physically. Min, with a serious face, demands that the members of his club step back. All the club members were puzzled as to why their chapter was demanding to step aside. Min repeatedly demands that those move away from Feng. The guy folds his arms and explains that he's reasonable enough, but not everyone is capable of becoming a shield like him. With a smirk, adding that Feng could get caught in the crossfire very quickly. Feng clarifies exactly what the guy's trying to say with that. Min slowly opens one of the checks and inscribes a round sum there. The guy slowly holds out the check to Feng. The guy demands that Feng for 2 million leave China and never appear in front of him again. Feng slowly picks up the check and looks into it. With a smirk, Feng states that 2 million is quite a large sum. Bojie remarks that she didn't expect the guy to be so obnoxious. It surprised Ming that the guy was so much of a talker and willing to leave because of money. Feng slowly takes out a pack of cigarettes and a lighter from his pocket. Feng slowly sets the check on fire, showing his disrespect in front of Min. Feng takes out one cigarette and lights that one with his check. Everyone present was amazed by Feng's action, including Bo Jae. Feng throws the rest of the check on the floor, which slowly turns to ash. The guy looks at Min's reaction, waiting for the next move. A guy in the crowd was amazed that Feng had so easily lit a check for 2 million. Many people didn't realize who exactly Feng was, but they noticed that he was quite pathos and cool. Min still couldn't believe what Feng had done. He was morally destroyed by it. Min angrily asks Feng what exactly he was trying to say with his action. Feng exhales the smoke of his cigarette right into the guy's face. With a smirk, Feng adds that he just wanted to remind Master Ming that 2 million is a lot, but not everything in the world can be bought. Feng looks into Min's eyes with a serious look. Bozi smiled. She didn't expect that Feng could be so manly. Ming clarifies if Feng wishes to decline the kind gesture. Putting his hands behind his head, Feng had little interest in this. Min declares that he will remember Feng's name and hopes to keep all that confidence until he arrives. Min and his club slowly leave the courtyard. Gritting his teeth, Min decides not to say anything more. Feng looks after the boy. Feng asks the baseball club to go slower, remarking that a $2 million cigarette is no different than a regular cigarette. Feng looks at the departing baseball club. Feng glances at Bo Jae. The guy beckons the girl over. The guy asks if the girl liked his performance. Feng adds that he finds it too beautiful to be true. The girl, unwilling to admit defeat, adds that she hasn't seen it and thinks it horrible enough. Feng moves closer and takes the girl by the waist. Bo is amazed that a guy would approach her so easily. Guy asks to be rewarded with a kiss for such a performance. Feng thinks it will be a good motivation for the future. The girl can't stand it and demands that the guy finally get off her back. The guy hadn't expected such a harsh response to his proposal. Unable to resist, the guy asks for a second kiss from Bo Jae. The guy offers to kiss the girl again. Bo doesn't know what to say. She was too embarrassed. A guy kisses a girl on the lips for the second time. The girl lowered her eyes in silence. She was furious and distraught at such actions. Feng rubs the back of his head and adds that he still has things to do and so he should run. Running away, the guy thinks he's coming late at night, so she shouldn't wait for him. A guy tries to stop a hitchhiking cab with his hand. The car pauses next to the guy. Feng asks him to take him to the Falling Snow nightclub. Feng looks out the window with a rather wicked grin. After reaching the club, the guy gets out of the cab and heads into the building. The club had a fun atmosphere. The whole crowd was on the dance floor and relaxing. Walking into the room, Feng sits down on a vacant couch and examines the visitors. Taking one of the cocktails, Feng continued to track down the person he needed. With a smile, the boy noted that nothing had changed in his absence. A woman's hand was taking a glass of wine from the table. The guy never stopped noticing that nothing had changed at the club in 3 years. Fan wondered if that girl had changed in so many years. A female voice sounded behind the guy's back. The girl decided to address Feng. The girl wondered if the guy was drinking alone or if he already had company. Feng explains that he came to this establishment to enjoy this beauty alone. The boy thanks him for the company he offers. Folding her arms, the girl calls the guy boring, then walks away. Feng wasn't the least bit embarrassed by this, and he didn't even look at the girl in the girl's wake. Near the stage, the girls started shouting loudly in anticipation of someone. The lights are slowly brought onto the stage, which is what Feng himself was waiting for. The guy smilingly rejoices that it's time for Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. The guy gets up from the table. With a smile, the guy notes that in 3 years, the girl still loves the song. The girl came on stage and started playing the piano. The whole crowd was paying attention to the girl, applauding the girl's playing. Feng was amazed that this particular girl was still playing in the club. The girl continued to play the piano. The crowd slowly gathered around the stage to hear this playing. Immersed in the song, the girl played like never before. That's what attracted the audience. The music was good. It went through the whole hall. Everyone applauded the girl. The boy notices that it is his teacher who works at the club at night. With a smile, Feng calls his teacher a very different person. Having finished, the girl gets up from behind the piano and walks out in front of the audience. Bowing to the audience, everyone amicably began to applaud and support the girl with compliments. A small group of people approach the girl and take note of her sweet music. The girl was a little wary of the presence of strange admirers. A large man decides to strike up a conversation. He explains that he has not even finished elementary school. Holding up 2 champagne glasses, the man adds that he still admires Miss Lan. The man goes on to praise the girl, calling the one an artist with temperament and elegance. The man adds that he expresses his admiration for Miss Lan, so he is ready to drink to her. With a smirk, the man offers to also drink and the girl along with him. The people in the audience realize that something not very good was about to happen. Miss Lan decides to remain silent, so she looks at the man in silence. Upon reflection, the girl waves it off and refuses to have a drink, as she is a total non-drinker. From the back, another man approaches the girl. He explains that they are drinking to her face, and she should not refuse such an offer. The guy slowly puts his hand on the girl's shoulder. Unwilling to tolerate it, Miss Lan immediately throws the man's hand away. The girl explains that she will call security if the man continues. The man takes a swing at Miss Lan out of anger. The large man catches his subordinate's arm and asks him to calm down. The man clarifies whether he treats the artist that way. He was not satisfied with the rudeness of his subordinate. The man apologizes for the incident, remarking that his subordinates are a little out of control. The man adds that he is a famous man after all, and it would be disrespectful to ignore his offer of a drink. The man repeatedly holds out a glass of champagne. Miss Lan assumes it is just alcohol and nothing more. With trembling hands, the girl tries to take the glass. The man looks at the girl and grins his teeth. He's amused by the whole situation. The girl wanted someone to help her, for she realized that she should not drink this alcohol. Abruptly from the man's hands, Feng takes the glass. The guy considers the one, and not much contentedly throws it to the floor. Feng declares that the alcohol in question is too bad to offer it to a girl. The glass was broken, and the entire contents spilled all over the floor. Miss Lan was astonished at such an act. The man was greatly disturbed by this, for some fellow had crossed his path. Taking the bottle in his hand, Feng offers to sit down and have a drink just with him. Feng puts a hand on the man's shoulder, trying to summon him. The man irritably turns his head toward Feng. The guy was looking at the man with an evil smile. In his right hand, he held the bottle. Feng looks at the man with a smile, expecting him to make the next move. The man turns around with a question as to who Feng is. The man states that no one dared to stand next to him, calling Feng the first to do so. A man takes a swing at a guy with words to teach him to behave more modestly. The guy starts to squeeze the larger man's shoulder, not wanting to say it again. Feng squeezed harder and harder, which was painful enough for that one. The man even trembles slightly in pain. Feng adds to roll out of the club. With those words, the guy lifts the boogeyman above his head, something the guy totally didn't expect. Then with all his might, he threw him aside. After flying across the room, the man lands near the bar. Glasses with alcohol and other things started falling on the man, but this was of little interest to anyone. Miss Lan was amazed at this outcome of events. All the subordinate men were no less amazed at this outcome, for all were seeing this for the first time. People in black suits abruptly began to enter the castle. They asked to be let in. The man standing in front is wondering who made a ruckus in their nightclub. Feng observes that it is when the problem is solved that the very security comes in. The guard wonders if Fen started this whole mess. Picking his ears, the guy assumes he did start it. The man wonders if they have a problem with hospitality at their establishment. Feng replies quite seriously that he's actually fine with it. The man, not knowing what to say, smiles back. With a smirk, the man states that since the guy is happy with the service, he's deliberately causing problems at the club. Showing a gesture, the man calls a subordinate over to him. He demands that he explain to the boy about the rules of the club. Feng silently looks at the huge guard, allowing him to make the first move. Folding his arms, the man explains that those who didn't know the rules of their club or purposely caused trouble should be punished. One of the workers brings a small tray. A guard holds up a tray as he awaits Feng's sentencing. The huge guard ends his speech by saying that the intruder must pay with his hand. On the tray is a meat cleaver. All the guards look sternly at the guy as he awaits sentencing. The main guard offers to do the guy himself, but also providing the help of other guards. Miss Lan tries to stop the chapter. The girl slowly approaches the crowd to explain. The girl explains that Feng was trying to help her, and there was a slight misunderstanding. The man explains that the rules are the same, and they can't be broken anyway. Referring to the rules of the establishment, the man adds that otherwise he would not be able to explain the whole situation to Miss C. The girl asks to wait for the head of security, because Lan has the power to call Miss Shi herself and ask for her permission. Not wanting to continue listening, the man presses to end the call. The man adds that the rules set by Miss C are strict for everyone, and cannot be changed, not even by Miss C herself. A man beckons to two subordinates with a knife. The man remarks that Feng is reluctant to do it on his own, so they will facilitate and help him. Feng comes closer and looks at the man's face. He thinks he's new to the place, but the man's face looks familiar to him. The man confirms that he is the new boss, but that has no bearing on the outcome and the guy will still end up in the hospital. Picking his teeth, the guy adds that he really doesn't care about that. The man is beginning to be infuriated by his indifference to the situation. The head of security announces that today will show what will happen to whoever causes trouble for the club and breaks the rules. The biggest guard rolls up his sleeves. The head of the guard orders the others not to let the guy get away. The man points out that the Falling Snow Club is not a place where you can do whatever you want. The boy listens to the man without any emotion. Feng had little interest in what was happening. The girl, unable to stand by, runs up to the guy. Covering Feng with her body, the girl demands that he leave immediately. The guy was worried about what would happen to Teacher Mo if he really left. The girl adds that she knows Miss C and will not be touched in any way. The head of security is holding a sharp knife. The man explains that the girl should move away from the intruder, as this is disrespectful and could affect whether Miss Lan comes out in one piece. The head of the guards looks at the girl with a fierce gaze. Although Miss Lan was frightened, but she didn't dare to step back and abandon her student. After covering Feng with her body, she continued to cover him with her body. The guy smilingly thanks for his concern and asks the girl to step back. Feng turns to the head of the guards with a suggestion, addressing him at once, not the defenseless girl. The man was amused by this, from which he laughed. The man orders the others to start passing judgment and not to stand by. One of the guards asks the guy to choose one of his hands since it's their custom to ask. Feng suggests trying to cut one of them off to begin with because that one won't succeed. A large security guard comes at the guy with a knife. Unable to watch what is happening, Miss Lan covers her face. The man was amazed that Feng was able to stop his precise strike. Feng held the knife with his bare hands. The man was frightened, calling the guy a monster. Unwilling to stand aside, the second guard pounces from behind. The man manages to get his arms around the guy's right arm. Without any effort, Feng throws the guard aside. He falls unconscious. Turning back to the first guard, the guy continued to look the guy straight in the eye. Feng breaks the knife in half with a slight movement of his hand. The man couldn't believe what was happening. It was all as strange as possible. Without giving the guard a second thought, Feng kicks the large guard in the stomach with his foot. The guy states that he finds it hard to believe that such people would be able to cut off his arm. The head of the guard remarks that Feng is from a practicing family, and now it's clear to him why the guy is so cocky. Feng suggests that the chapter do it all themselves and just shoot him with a gun. The man slowly pulled the gun from behind his back. The man was fine with this solution. Holding out his hand with a gun, the man states with a smirk that it's easiest for him to just shoot the guy. Man says goodbye to Feng before he shoots in. The rest of the guards were already burying Feng, for their head had a gun in his hand. The boy smirks at the action of the head of security. Feng tosses the clip of his pistol up, adding that he's saying goodbye, noting that early enough the man suggested he say so. The man couldn't believe what was happening as he wouldn't let Feng get close. Without giving the man a second thought, Feng quickly pounces on the head of security. Feng punches the man in the stomach with all his strength, throwing him backwards. The man is nailed to the pole with such force that it even bends slightly. Following him, a golden-colored object flew by at a tremendous speed. The man could not believe what he saw, for he knew exactly what it was. A blade with a maple leaf blade was sticking out of the wall. After this, the head of the guard was greatly frightened and did not know what to do. Feng smirks at the man kneading his fists in front of him. The rest of the guards were pretty angry at the guy's actions. They were willing to kill for their captain. The most enormous guard calls the others to attack the guy en masse and avenge the head of security. All the guards pounce with fists and knives on one Feng. The head of security with a wound on his face demands everyone to stop immediately and not to touch Feng. The man adds that he did not authorize without his orders to act and attack the guy. All the guards stopped and could not understand what the head of the guard means. With difficulty, the man swallows a lump. He was tense. Through force, the head of the guard approaches Feng. After getting close enough, the man quietly clarifies if Feng is the night judge. The guy waves it off, explaining that since the head of security realized it himself, he shouldn't have said it out loud. The man immediately bows to the guy and apologizes repeatedly. Feng, with a serious face, decides to address the head of the guard one last time. The guy remarks that the man was able to recognize a maple blade, adding that means the head of security works in this field not so little. The man's still prostrate before Feng explains that he's only recently been working at the Falling Snow Club. The head of security adds that he was transferred here just 2 years ago to help Miss C run the nightclub. Feng remarks that he's not surprised that the head has only been here for 2 years, since he hadn't seen him here before. Feng turns away, heading towards Miss Lan. Guy adds one last thing to give the maple knife to Simon Snow, with a message that he's back and ready to drink with him when he has time. Approaching Miss Lan, the guy offers to leave the nightclub already and take the girl home. Miss Lan agrees to the guy's proposal. Feng extends his hand to the girl. Feng takes the girl's hand and leads her to the exit. The guards were unhappy with the head guard's decision. They were all gritting their teeth about it. One of the guards swung his knife in front of the guy, showing his respect in front of Fanyam. The guy nonchalantly continued to head towards the exit. The guards parted and let the girl and Feng pass. The head of security pulls out a maple tree from the wall. Sitting down at the table, he begins to look at it. The man was amazed at the quality of the knife. He stuck that one into the table. A man swings a knife, testing how practical it is. Looking into his reflection of the knife, the man remarks that the knife is so sharp that it is ready to pierce even a marble column. A huge guard approaches the head and tries to find out who the guy was after all. The man didn't understand why they had to let him go. After all, they wouldn't be able to explain it to Miss C. The head wonders if the guards would still be able to handle him. The guard didn't know what to say to that. The head adds that those should not worry, as he will report the incident to Miss Xi himself. The guards approach and wonder what the mystery of this broken knife is. The chapter explains that the knife itself is nothing of value, but its wielder has been massacring anyone who gets in his way. The men were at a loss as to whom their head was talking about. The head clarifies if those still want to know his real name. It seems to the head that the men will not be able to believe what they hear, but he decides to tell nonetheless. Head adds that the owner of this maple knife had the most recognizable nickname in all of China. After all, his name is Night Judge. The image of Feng in his maple blade suit appeared in front of the men's eyes. One of their guards falls over from fright. He asks if the guy was the judge. The second guard couldn't believe what he was hearing. The head demands that everyone calm down and stop being so loud about it. Feng slowly walks out of the establishment. The head adds that this is the kind of name that should not be called out loud. Upon reaching the car, they get into a small red car. The guy laughingly adds that he was the one who was supposed to drive the girl home. Feng apologizes that Miss Lan had to lead him home in reverse. Miss Lan explains that she hasn't had time to thank the guy, so this will be a reward for him. The girl clarifies if it's true that the guy just arrived at Shanghai University. With a smile, the guy interjects, "Doesn't he look like a regular student?" The girl adds that she has been to the nightclub Falling Snow before, and noticed that the guy is not acting like a student at all. The girl recalls the moment where Feng stands with his back to the angry crowd of guards, without reacting in any way to the danger. Feng clarifies what's wrong in the girl's view. The guy smilingly interrogates the girl again without waiting for an answer. Miss Lan asks not to pay attention. She decides to clarify exactly where the guy lives. Looking out the window, the guy calls the orchid garden. The girl remarks that she herself lives in that neighborhood near the orchid gardens. Miss Lan clarifies why she had not seen him in the area previously. The guy in his thoughts didn't understand why he so often stumbled upon all the coincidences in this world. Feng couldn't believe that his mentor also lived in the same neighborhood. The guy explains that he arrived just recently, and that's why the girl hasn't seen him. Miss Lan waved it off with a smile. She kept driving and kept her eyes on the road. Miss Lan's car was followed by a black car for a long time. The girl adds that she has another question for the guy. The girl notices that the guy has an accent, assuming that Feng isn't really from around here. The guy doesn't quite know what the girl is talking about. Miss Lan wonders how he knows Miss C personally then. Guy tries to remember when he had time to meet Miss C. The guy adds that he's actually known Miss C for a long time, calling himself an old friend of the girl's. Feng clarifies if the girl believes his words. Miss Lan explains that she's seen Miss C and she's quite cold to other people. Feng sighs. He remarks that at a time like this, few people can believe the truth. Feng notices a strange black car following them. I could clearly see the car in my side mirror. It was driving all the way starting from the clubhouse. Feng silently continues to follow the pursuing car. The girl clarifies why the guy has become silent, assuming that it is precisely because everything is a lie. The girl also spots a strange car behind them. In the side mirror, the black car was approaching at high speed, stopping just short of pursuit. The girl thought the car behind them was strange. A black car slams sharply into the back of Miss Lan's car. The girl is badly frightened as she grips the steering wheel. She tries to ask Feng who those people are. Feng puts his hand on the girl's shoulder and asks her to stop panicking. Feng asks the girl to press full throttle and drive as fast as possible. Miss Lan's car is speeding through the empty city. The black car catches up with them again and crashes into their rear. The girl was badly frightened. Miss Lan doesn't know what to do. The girl notes that she hit her leg hard after the last collision. Feng suggests that the girl switch so that he can drive. Feng notices an abrasion on the woman's right leg. The guy explains that the girl hurt her leg and should rest it. Still behind the wheel, the girl doesn't understand what the guy is talking about. Feng gets into the driver's seat instead of the girl and continues driving without stopping. With a smirk, Feng asks the girl to hold on tight. The guy hits full throttle and manages to pull away a bit. A man sitting in a black car demands that the driver catch up with them. The man demands that he run them over and not give them a chance. With a smirk, the guy behind the wheel adds that he'll do it without any problems. The speed of the black car had already begun to exceed 100 kilometers per hour. Once on the highway, the black car continued to chase Feng among the other cars. The black car almost manages to catch up repeatedly, but Feng manages to swerve to the side. The man can't sit in the back seat. He was embittered that the girl was leaving him. The girl on Feng's lap asks to sit down because she finds the pose strange. Feng explains that they don't have time for this. Feng takes a sharp right turn onto the stairs to get away from his pursuers. Feng explains it in a way that leaves them no other option. The girl was scared. She asked the guy to be more careful. Feng was confident. Miss Lan's car started down the stairs at speed. The girl was too scared and screamed. Feng held her and drove the car at the same time. Feng manages to slow down just before he descends the stairs. The girl closed her eyes in fear. She didn't want to see all this horror. The same black car flies over Miss Lan's car. After failing to control, the car flips over and begins to smoke. A man climbs out of the window. He yells at the couple, adding that next time he will catch them and punish them. With a smirk, the guy asks again if there will be a next time. The man doesn't understand what the guy is trying to do. Feng slowly drives up to the overturned car and starts pushing the car into the sea. The car goes underwater, but the man and his subordinate manage to get out. Finished with that, the couple continues to drive to the house in Miss Lan's car. Feng takes a moment to notice that they have almost arrived and are near their neighborhood. The guy takes the girl in his arms and carries her to his house. The girl explains that she can walk on her own as the wound is not serious. Feng adds that although the girl's leg was sore from the injury, she is still brave. The guy brings the girl to the bed and puts her to rest. Feng notices that the girl's house is quite large. He finds it strange that the girl lives here alone. Miss Lan blushed heavily. She didn't understand what the guy was trying to say. The guy finds the underwear next to the couch and clarifies what it is. The girl rushes to the guy in embarrassment. She didn't want him to see this. The girl knocks the guy over and he ends up on the couch. The guy accidentally touches the girl. Miss Lan was greatly embarrassed by such a gesture. The guy doesn't immediately take his hands off the girl's body. Feng's nose was bleeding from embarrassment. Feng's nose bled with embarrassment. The girl doesn't immediately realize what's going on, silently looking at the guy. At the same second, Miss Lan screamed, calling the guy a pervert. She demanded that the guy take his hands off her. While trying to get off the guy, the girl accidentally hits the guy below the waist. This movement will hurt the guy badly, which will make him suffer a lot. The boy screamed loudly in great pain throughout the house. Feng couldn't stay still, so he started running around the room. The girl clarifies if the guy is okay. She didn't fully understand what happened to Feng. Continuing to flail around the room, the guy hits the wall and falls to the ground. Guy is lying on the ground explaining that he's fine. Feng loses consciousness. It was very disturbing to the girl that the guy was unconscious for so long after fainting. The girl was very tired, of which she started yawning, unable to keep waiting for the guy. Feng jumps up sharply after waking up. He takes a quick look around the room. The guy notices that Miss Lan has fallen asleep on his stomach. Through the dream, the girl called the guy a pervert. Her face was still flushed. Guy assumes that Miss Lan has a strong grudge against him for his actions. The guy takes the girl in his arms and carries her to the girl's bedroom. Having put the girl on the bed, the guy, without waiting, heads for the exit. Walking out the door, the guy slowly heads for the exit. Miss Lan stands up and mentally says goodbye to Feng, calling him the bad guy. A guy under the night sky reaches the Ouyang family mansion. Feng enters the house with a smile, wanting to take a shower and rest. The first thing the guy notices in the hall is Bo Jae sitting down. The girl was very unhappy. Rubbing the back of his head, the guy asks why the girl was up so late. The girl was dissatisfied with the guy's behavior because he did not keep track of time at all. Bo was worried about where the guy went after university. The guy moves closer, jokingly clarifying if the girl is worried about him. Folding her arms, the girl adds that the devil will take care of Feng. Bo Jae picks up a document from the table and throws it in the guy's face. She demands that the guy follow the 21 rules while living with the girl. The guy looks at the front page, where it says that rich and beautiful Ouyang lives with a bag of trash. With a smirk, the guy remarks that life is a damn disappointment. The guy decides to read all 21 rules, which doesn't make him very happy. Feng decides to launch a protest, because it's not fair since every rule is against the guy himself. The girl dismisses the protest. Bo explains that she is in charge of her territory, and the whole problem is the guy himself. The girl scoffs at the guy's predicament. The guy explains that in that case he will call his father-in-law and tell him everything the girl is doing to him. Bo Jae demands that the guy dare not call her father. The girl rushes towards the guy, but Feng decides to take the other one in a hug. The girl hadn't expected such a turn. The guy flips the girl over and throws her on the couch. Feng adds that his wife is too active and he's still not used to it. Bo demands that the guy let her go. The guy with a smirk offers to let the girl go if he doesn't have to sign that contract. The girl declares with a flushed face that there is no such thing. Bo Jae wraps her legs around the guy so that he falls on top of her. The girl bites the guy's cheek, causing him to start screaming that it hurts. The girl's bite mark remains on the guy's cheek. At that moment, the girl's father enters the room as well. The man was amazed at what he saw. He suspects the couple is up to something. The man remarks that it's only been a few days, but the progress is going too fast. The couple did not know how to explain themselves. Coughing, the man turns around and heads for the exit. The man says goodbye to the couple and apologizes for disturbing them. Bo Jae asks him to wait for his father because he misunderstood. With a smirk, the guy adds that they're still not officially married and there's nothing wrong with that. The girl repeatedly tosses the contract sheets and demands that the guy sign. The girl gets on top of the guy's face and repeatedly demands that he sign everything if he wants to live in the same house with her. The guy repeatedly decides to call his father-in-law and explain that his daughter is offering to sign the house rules. The girl moves closer and covers the guy's mouth, demanding that he shut up. The girl sits down on the couch and specifies that she desires the guy for his signature on the contract. The guy smirks evilly, looking at the girl before answering. Feng starts reaching for the girl with demands that she kiss him and then he'll sign everything. The girl explains that he should not dream of kissing her. Feng tries again to call his father-in-law. Bo Jae decides to agree and comes closer. Her face is a little red with embarrassment. The guy also reaches for the girl in anticipation of a kiss. The girl was greatly angered by such a demand. The girl tried to talk herself out of it after all. She had already taken advantage, and she shouldn't back down so easily. The girl slowly approaches Feng's face, trying to kiss him. Bo Jae and Feng kiss, which is what the guy demanded. The romantic kiss abruptly changes to pain, something Feng didn't expect. The guy trying to break free from the girl, Feng was in hell of a lot of pain. The girl stared into the guy's eyes. She wasn't going to let the insolent Feng go. Feng asks to be let go, admitting his guilt. Bo was only willing to let the guy go if he signed a contract. A moment later, the girl had the signed contract in her hands. The guy was lying soullessly on the couch. Bo was happily leaving the room at that time. The man, assuming that quite a bit of time has passed, decides to enter the room. Feng was lying on the sofa with swollen lips. The man was startled by this sight. The man clarifies why the guy's face is so swollen. The guy attributes it to being bitten by a puppy. The man realizes what this is all about, and that apparently it was his daughter who bit Feng. The man laughs, remembering that Feng has always had such a temper and attitude towards everything. A man invites his daughter and Feng for an important conversation. Ouyang shows the plan of the new house. The man explains that this house is in a luxury location opposite Langtang Bay, adding that they can decorate this house in Chinese or European styles. Feng shakes hands with his father-in-law, adding that he will take care of his daughter. Bo-jae was unhappy with the arrangement, not wanting to move in with her boyfriend. The man walks outside and says goodbye to the couple. Feng thought it was strange that his father-in-law had only come to discuss the finishing of the house and was already leaving. The man slowly opens his transportation and tries to get into the car. An unknown masked man comes out of the bushes and pounces on the man. A man is trying to find out who exactly is attacking him. But at that moment, an unknown man puts a gun to the man's head. Unidentified greets that Ouyang chairman, remarking that they haven't seen each other in a while. An unknown man takes a man hostage and puts a gun to his head. The girl was frightened. Tears came to Bo's eyes. The girl decides to help her father, quickly heading towards her attacker. An unknown masked man points a gun at the girl and demands that she step back, otherwise he was ready to kill Bo-jae. Ouyang demands that his daughter stay away and not make any hasty decisions. The girl silently walks back to Feng. She didn't know what she should do. The girl takes Feng's hand. She was very scared. Bo-jae tearfully asks the guy to help her and do something. The unknown man adds that they don't plan to kill anyone. He was interested in the money. The man adds that Bo-jae should call the bank and withdraw 50 million for the ransom. The man puts the barrel tightly against the back of Ouyang's head, which makes him add that it hurts. With an angry face, Ouyang asks that his attacker not hurt him. The unidentified man begins to apologize, referring to Ouyang as the chairman. Feng smirks at such a sight, for this is the first time he has seen a mugger be so polite. The girl was in a panic trying to find the right number to call. Feng puts his hand on the girl's shoulder. He asks the girl not to worry, for he will solve everything. With a serious face, Feng was heading towards the robber. He was outraged that his father-in-law dared to use these fake robbers to guide him. The guy scoffed, seeing what the robbers were wearing. The guy noticed that one of the assailants had new car keys. The other one was wearing newly purchased stockings, even the tag was hanging. Feng also pointed out that the weapon used by the unknown was just a fake. The guy was pretty angry about the whole show. He was clarifying why his father-in-law was trying to fool him. The unidentified men stay in character and clarify what Feng is trying to do. They also remind him that they still have weapons and can kill Ouyang. Bo-jae asks the guy to be more careful. Ouyang also joins in and explains that the unknowns do have weapons and it's not safe. Without further ado, Feng goes on the attack, quickly approaching the unknowns. The guy quickly kills 2 robbers, from which they fall unconscious. Ouyang doesn't have time to finish his line that those might shoot, but Feng has already managed to scatter everyone. Ouyang looked around, confused. Feng turns to the chairman. He is waiting for an explanation. Ouyang slowly turns his head toward the guy. Feng adds that this is the second time this has happened, and he's starting to get stressed about it. Ouyang was greatly confused, sweat pouring down his forehead. Feng adds, hopefully. After Feng's words, Ouyang looked at the guy fearfully. Feng adds that he hopes there won't be a third time. His face was angry because of the recent events. Ouyang falls to his knees in silence. Feng turns around and heads into the house. Bo-jae saw that her father was fine and rushed to his side. The girl with crying eyes was very frightened and complained to her father about what had happened. The man remarked that this time, it was all thanks to Feng. In his thoughts, the man observed that Feng was dangerous enough and shouldn't be played with like this. The man finishes talking to the police and hangs up. The whole family sits at the common table. The man yawned with fatigue. Feng was in no mood to talk. The man asks that his daughter go upstairs and rest, but in the meantime he will discuss recent events with Feng in private. The girl gets up from the table without adding anything and heads to her room. After waiting for the girl to go upstairs, the man decides to apologize to the guy for what happened today. The guy stops Ouyang. He explains that he's not interested in this, but he doesn't like being held for a fool. The man, not wanting to lie, explains that although he organized this whole circus today, the 2 robbers are not his employees. Feng, not realizing what he's talking about, clarifies what the man means. Taking the chin, Ouyang adds that the 2 men are from the other chairman of the group, Angel Foundation. The man outsmarted them and staged a kidnapping as a show. With a smirk, Feng declares that he has apparently found the real reason why Fatty Luo sent him to China. The man gets up from the table, adding that it's not so petty, because the situation is much more serious in China than he thinks. The doorbell rang, which is what Ouyang and Feng are distracted by. The man decides to check to see who has arrived. Fen notices that the situation is getting more and more interesting. An officer walks into the mansion calling Young uncle. She's here to inquire about a recent incident. The girl explains that she got a call from the station saying that a kidnapping almost happened here, so Tan personally came to find out everything. The girl notices Feng sitting on the couch. He looked at Tang nonchalantly. The girl poked her finger at the guy trying to figure out what he was doing in Young mansion. The guy smilingly waved at the officer. He was glad to meet the girl again. The girl demands that the guy shut up. The guy adds that although he is happy to see the girl, if she calls him a liar again, he will sue Tan for defamation. The girl was infuriated by the presence of the guy. Young asked the officer to calm down and resolve the situation. Pointing her finger at Feng, the girl tries to understand why Young is so calm and lets the guy live in his mansion. The guy smirks, trying to call out to Officer Tan. The guy adds that he's currently Bo-jae's fiancé and doesn't understand why he can't live here. The girl was scared out of her wits at the sensation. The girl screams and asks if Bo is his wife. Young stands silently to the side with his phone. The girl's hands were shaking with anger. She didn't believe that Feng and Bo would be engaged. Tan turns around and adds that he would be against such a wedding. With a smirk, the guy explains that he doesn't need the officer's permission, clarifying who the girl thinks she is. Without waiting for an answer, the guy escorts Tan to the exit and leads her outside. A guy asks Tan to go home and go to bed. The girl tries to appeal to the guy. Without listening to the girl, Feng closes the door in front of the officer. The girl was very angry at the guy's behavior. She couldn't stand him. The girl started screaming at the door and demanding to be opened. The guy, without any reaction, silently goes up to his room. A guy walks into his room. His head was filled with all the thoughts of today's incidents. The guy jumps on the bed and with a good mood tries to fall asleep. Feng is picking up on the fact that he's getting more and more interested. The guy notes that Angel Foundation is a small organization. It wasn't clear to the guy what other secrets this organization kept. Feng takes out a strange phone from his bag. The guy wants to contact his acquaintance. After all, she's always working on some dirty technology at a time like this. The guy recalls that this girl is the one who made his phone look like this. A guy dials his girlfriend's number. After that, the phone screen starts displaying some kind of image. It was the silhouette of his girlfriend. She greeted Feng. The girl picked up on the fact that the guy hadn't contacted her in a while. She was interested in how things were going in Shanghai. Feng decides to add that the girl is a good hacker, and she herself knows what he's doing and what he's doing at the moment. The girl was confused by the compliment. She asks the guy to tell her exactly what he wants to know. The girl clarifies if the one wants her to block the entire information network or mobilize the nearest group of fighters to support the guy. Covering his face, the guy asks that all the girl has to do is check out the Angel Foundation organization for him. The girl was frustrated with such a simple job. She wished for a difficult job, not a 5-minute job. The girl asks to wait a few minutes and she will send all the information. A girl sitting behind 100 monitors starts typing something quickly on the keyboard. The girl remarks that this is quite an interesting genetic technology company. The girl adds that the company is also known as the legendary Human Genetic Technology. Feng asks for a more detailed explanation of what it is all about. The girl explains by example what the guy has seen in movies and TV shows. This is now research trying to develop. The girl ends by saying that if they succeeded, humans could extend life or make genetically modified warriors. The girl was surprised by this herself. The guy understands why exactly he was sent to solve this problem, because all the roots start from here. With a serious glance, the guy remarks that all the people in Shanghai are looking at Angel Foundation. The guy stares at the girl silently, continuing to consider all the options. The girl remembers what she wanted to ask Feng when they met. The girl clarifies why it is a woman who is in charge in his house. The girl tries to find out if Feng is walking back with all sorts of women in Shanghai. The guy is a little confused, not knowing what to say to that. With a smirk, the guy adds that kids should stay out of adult business, especially in the middle of the night. Girl calls a guy bad, starts stomping on the floor. Not wanting to keep listening to this, the guy knocks his phone out and puts it back in his bag. Rubbing his eyes, the guy calls the girl, the little witch. After undressing, Fen lies down in bed and tries to sleep. Before he can fall asleep, Feng realizes that his back itches badly. The guy does not immediately understand why his whole body itches so much because in such a villa there cannot be mosquitoes or other pests. The guy decides to look all over the bed for anything. He notices the same powder scattered by Bo-jae back on the first day. The guy jumps out of bed over the powder. He assumes it's a prank by the lady in question. The guy puts on his clothes and heads down the hall. A guy walks into the bathtub with the desire to wash himself off after scabies powder. While in the bathroom, the guy remarks that he knows whose hands it is and that's why the war has only just begun. Bo-jae, unable to guess what Feng and her father were discussing, decides to go to the boy and find out. A girl knocks on the bathroom door, clarifying if she can enter. The guy allows the girl to enter. The girl was embarrassed by the guy's appearance. The guy stood in front of Bo-jae only wearing a towel. He grinned at the girl. The girl immediately starts covering her face. She doesn't understand why the guy was completely unclothed. The guy takes the girl's hands, showing that he's not straight naked, but in a towel. The girl tries to step back. She clarifies what the guy is trying to do. Feng comes a little too close and leans over to the girl. Feng wonders what the girl came so late for, assuming that the girl missed him. The girl blushed heavily, but she was stating that she didn't miss the guy at all. Unable to take it any further, Bo-jae pushes the guy aside. The girl looks away embarrassed by the guy's appearance. The girl remarked that Feng looked good enough without clothes, for he had a pumped-up and beautiful body. The girl folded her arms and sat down on the edge of the guy's bed. She was interested in what her father and Feng were discussing in the living room. With a smirk, the guy looks at the girl. He realized that Bo was completely oblivious to his trap. The guy laughed loudly, the girl looking at the guy in surprise. The girl clarifies if her boyfriend is listening, because she asked a clear question. Guy explains that her father asked her to be more understanding in the future because of her bad temper. The girl asked incredulously if her father had told her anything else. The guy adds that he also said he will take care of the girl for the rest of her life. Feng decides to ask for a reward for telling Bo-jae everything. The girl pounces on the guy with a pillow. But at that moment, Bo begins to feel something strange. The girl jumps off the bed and realizes that everything is starting to itch. The girl notices itching powder on the spot where she had been sitting earlier. A guy offers to help a girl with her whole body itching. The girl calls the guy a fool. The guy laughs with Bo-jae walking away. The girl leaves the room confused. Bo-jae is taking a bath and is already contemplating how she's going to get revenge on the guy. The guy falls asleep quickly and sleeps until the wee hours of the morning. The next day in the morning, someone knocks loudly and the girl demands that Feng get up and open the doors. The guy quickly dressed and went down the stairs. He didn't realize who could have come to them so early. Opening the doors, the guy notices Officer Tang on the doorstep. Feng wondered why the girl had come so early in the morning. The girl comes to the mansion, adding that it's none of his business. Bo-jae comes down from the second floor to greet the girl. Tang explains the situation and that she is temporarily homeless, so she asks to stay at their house. Bo-jae lets him stay to greet his new roommate. Tang asks if the guy will do anything rash. Feng was not much pleased with this decision. He still decides to clarify if the girl is going to live in their house or if she is bullying again. Tang clarifies with a serious face what the guy doesn't like about her living here. Feng silently waves back. Bo-jae takes her sister's hand and suggests that she ignore Feng. The girl turns her head and demands that Feng make breakfast for everyone. The guy indignantly clarifies why he has to make breakfast. The girl recalls that Feng signed a contract stating that the guy is obligated to cook breakfast and clean the house. Without listening to the guy, the girl escorts Tan to her room. Feng is holding the back of his head. He realizes that he has become a free cook and has really been cheated. Tan walks into the room with a suitcase. The girl clarifies whether Feng said he was her father's cousin. The girls get on the bed. Tan was worried about the guy calling himself her sister's fiancé. Bo-jae falls on the bed and explains that it was all because of her father. The girl explains that this is all happening because Feng has a large amount of company stock and they had to make it a fake marriage. The girl adds that her father is trying to cheat the guy and get back all the shares of the company. Tan tries to sympathize with her sister. Bo-jae asks to forget about the guy and talk about something else, since they haven't seen each other in about 2 months. Bo lays down closer to Tan and wonders if the girl has a boyfriend. Thane stares at the ceiling in silence, not knowing what to say. Tan rolls Bo over and sits on top of her. She calls the girl a little splinter who had the nerve to ask that. The girl began to touch and tickle Bo-jae, wanting to tease her. Bo started to twitch. She was very ticklish from the girl's hands. Bo-jae adds that he worries a lot about the girl's personal life. Tan adds that only the one who will be able to beat her can become her boyfriend. That's why all the handsome guys run away from her. Bo-jae adds that girls should not be invincible, but soft and feminine. Tan becomes on top, holding onto Bo's chest. Bo adds that otherwise the girl will be alone and become an old woman. Tan reminds her that Bo is lying now and is at her mercy. The girl decides to fix this and punish Bo for her behavior. With a smile, Bo-jae declares that he is not afraid of the girl. Tan snuggles up to Tan with the words that he will show her. A tired-looking Feng walks through the door saying that breakfast is ready. The guy looks on in amazement at what the girls are doing. It amazed him that Tang was on top of Bo-jae in such a pose. Tang, hearing the guy's voice, immediately throws a pillow in the wake. The girl takes another pillow. She's pissed that the guy walked in without knocking. The guy explains with a smirk that he came to call the girls for breakfast, not what they were thinking. Covering himself with a pillow, Feng observed that Tang had a rather beautiful figure. Tang gets up from the bed and looks angrily at Feng. The guy still continued to stand and stare at the girls, which infuriated Bo-jae as well. She orders the guy to leave her room, after which he abruptly stands up and throws a pillow at the door, still donned with the words, "Get out." The guy grinningly says goodbye to the girls, suggesting they continue on without his presence. On his way out the door, the guy once again asks the girls to keep going and keep going. In his thoughts, the lad remarked that life in the mansion would become even more colorful. Angel Foundation's office was placed in the center of town. One of the agents in the office is checking to see if everything worked out. A man on the phone is told that 3 agents failed in their mission and were taken away by the police. The guy couldn't understand how his agents couldn't handle it. since all of Ouyang's security was on vacation, and he was all alone. The man on the phone reports that the unknown guy living in Ouyang Mansion was able to stop their entire mission all by himself. The man adds that this guy arrived in Shanghai just 3 days ago. Sitting down at his desk, the man orders his subordinates to find out everything about him, because now was the best time to execute their plan. As he hung up the phone, the man realized it wasn't going to be that easy with Ouyang. Leaning back in his chair, the man cites luck as he ponders the next steps of action. Gritting his teeth, the man notes that in a few days, Ouyang's luck will no longer help him. At this time, Feng is silently eating breakfast in the not-so-kind circle of the family. Tan glared angrily at the guy because of recent events. The girl didn't take her eyes off Feng and chewed furiously on the food she had prepared. The guy asked in his thoughts for the girl to stop glaring at him and let him eat normally. Sighing, the guy didn't understand why he was getting all this punishment. Not having finished his breakfast, the guy gets up from the table. Fen adds that he's full and puts his plate away in the sink. The girls continued to stare at the departing guy. Feng adds that they eat too slowly. Tan couldn't forgive the guy. She kept mentally cursing the guy for today. The girl now calls him not only a liar, but a shameless pervert. Bojie adds that Feng just happened to walk in and see them, because you shouldn't kill a guy for that. Tan stands up abruptly with indignation that it wasn't just a look, but more than that. Tang hesitated, assuming that Bojie had started to defend Feng. Tan adds that Bojie must have fallen in love with the guy. The girl shouted sharply that it couldn't be like that because no one likes him. Tang still resented Feng taking advantage of her while she was distracted. Tang excitedly declared that she would teach the guy a lesson today. At this time, Feng himself went outside and decided to take a walk. Tan recalls a moment where the guy was looking directly at her with lecherous eyes. The girl was still pretty excited about what the guy could see. When he entered the room, kicking a rock, Feng walked down the street remembering Officer Tang. The boy remarked to himself that he really didn't have time to see anything. Sighing, the guy added that it was hard for him to live in a love nest with an unmarried girl, because she was like a 3-kilowatt light bulb watching him. While passing by Mo's teacher's house, the boy notices an unfamiliar car. There was a luxury red sports car parked outside the house. Inside the car sat a man in an expensive suit with a huge bouquet of roses. The guy remarked with a laugh that the man thought it was cool to start courting first thing in the morning. Heading onward, the boy hears the grumblings of his teacher Lan. Fen turns around. It seems to him that this is more than just courtship. A girl is trying to understand what a man wants from her because she has already refused him before. The girl explains that nothing can happen between them. With folded arms, the man declares that she has no right to decide what happens between them, since her father lost the contract on the girl. The man comes closer and offers to cancel the contract of 5 million yuan, for this is the sum of all her father's debts. The girl looks around confused, not knowing what to do. The girl declares that she will give the man the entire 5 million debt, but demands that he stop harassing her from now on. The man laughingly states that this is a very large cost since she is only a teacher. He was also not satisfied with being turned down by some ordinary girl. Miss Lan doesn't know what to say to that. She ponders how to get out of that situation. Feng decides to step up and help Teacher Mo by calling her his wife. The guy gets in front of the man and reminds him that the woman has a bad leg and shouldn't walk alone, because she is in a lot of pain. The guy takes the girl in his arms and lifts her up. Feng carries the girl home with the words that he will help the girl and carry Miss Lan all the way to her bed. The man was greatly angered by this arrangement and shouted to the man in his wake. Fen turns around and states that the man came to confess his girlfriend's love, but he didn't ask who he was. The man clarifies that Miss Lan is his girlfriend. Feng adds that doesn't the guy see. The man fully examines the guy and is completely clueless as to what the guy is noteworthy for. With a sneer, the man points his finger at the guy. He calls the guy a beggar and demands Molan to explain himself. With a smirk, Feng adds that he's amused by the man calling the one a puppy. The man was greatly angered. He didn't understand who Feng was to Molan. With a deft hand movement, Feng cuts the man's pants, noting that although the guy is rich, he could afford normal pants. The man looks down at his pants and notices a huge hole. Through the slit, you can see the guy's underwear, which makes him very embarrassed. Fen quickly tucks his knife back into his sleeve. The man covers his nudity. Feng scoffs at the Superman-colored underwear, calling it not a bad choice. The man continues to cover himself by pointing his finger at the couple. He assures them that they will pay for such humiliation. The man with a smirk also reminds her that he still has a contract on her life from the girl's father. Feng tauntingly pelts the man with various provocations and explanations as to why he doesn't own Molan's life. The man stands confused and stares silently at the departing couple. Feng asks the girl not to get involved with dubious men from now on because insanity is contagious. The girl embarrassedly agrees with the guy. The man looks out the window indignantly and watches the couple climb to the second floor. A man threatens a couple that they will be killed. The man was no longer in control of his anger. The girl lived in the same huge mansion as the Ouyang family. Molan was still lying in Feng's arms. The girl was confused. With a smile, Feng asks the girl not to look at him like that. for he will soon start to feel shy himself. The girl, blushing, sends the guy away, but also calls him too cute. The guy takes the girl's hand and moves closer to the girl's face. The girl confusedly clarifies what Feng is trying to do to her. Without further ado, the guy kisses the girl, much to the shock of the girl. In her thoughts, the girl didn't understand how the guy dared to kiss her without permission. The girl grabs the guy's shoulder and doesn't let go. It was a long enough kiss, the girl was fine with that. The window to the room where the couple was located flew open and the curtain began to flutter violently. Fen remarks that it was clumsy, noting that it was the girl's first time kissing. The girl looked away. She wondered if Feng had a lot of experience. In her mind, the girl couldn't believe she had kissed a student. The girl thanked the guy for saving her, because she didn't know what would have happened to her if the guy hadn't pulled up. Lan adds that Feng hurt Xiao Yuan today, and now the guy is in big trouble. The guy laughs and explains that all his friends call him the ladies' man. The girl laughed a great deal at this, for she had really partly fallen in love with him. Lan is worried about Feng, because Xiao will be looking for opportunities to take revenge on the guy. The girl wouldn't want Feng to get in trouble because of her. Feng asks if the girl knows him and what family he is from. The girl adds that the guy's family is very rich. After all, in Shanghai, the city is divided into family territories, and Xiao is no exception. The guy didn't quite understand what Molan was talking about just now. The girl explains that it's about the 4 untouchable families in Shanghai and Hell from the eastern part of the city, belong specifically to the Xiao family. The tigers from the west side are the Xionghu gang. They were all murderers and outlaws. The girl also mentions the falling snow in the south, which is familiar to Feng. The Simon family is responsible for this area, as well as the ancient ones in the north of the city, is the ancient Shanghai family. The boy observes that the city government in Shanghai has changed a lot in 3 years. Feng also wondered, since Lan was familiar with the Xiao family, he needed to find out what those people were up to. The girl explains that Xiao's family is officially in the entertainment business in Shanghai. But if you learn more about this family, you may realize that those are actually secretly opening countless illegal casinos. Lan adds that these underground casinos are so numerous that they can be found anywhere in the city. Holding onto the guy's chin is now becoming clear. Feng recalls that Xiao had a contract of sale because of Lan's indebted father. The girl clarifies what the guy with that scary smile is thinking. Stretching, Feng quickly stands up. He declares that the girl shouldn't worry. With a smirk, the guy declares that he's short of money and so he's going to go to the casino and make some cash. The girl was not happy with the guy's decision. She was not ready to let him go to the casino. Feng asks the girl to calm down, as this is just an ordinary underground casino. Feng adds that it's normal for young people to go crazy from time to time. The girl stands on her own and does not want to even listen. Lan tries to forbid the guy to go to the casino. Feng comes closer and leans in. He clarifies if the girl has a good reason for him not to go to the casino. The girl got very embarrassed, which made her blush. She reminds him that she is his teacher and can't let the student get on a slippery slope. Feng declares that the girl won't be able to convince him as a teacher, but if she becomes his girlfriend, she could fix it. Turning away, the girl declares that no one would want to be his girlfriend. The girl began to consider alternative ideas. Lan suggests that if a guy is planning on going to the casino, he should be obligated to take her with him. The guy yawns and reminds me that the girl has a problem with her leg. The girl gets up from the couch and defiantly makes a few circles in front of Feng. The girl shows that she has no problem with her leg, thus believing that the guy is obliged to take her along. The doe stumbles back and begins to fall, unable to stay on her feet. Fen manages to pick the girl up in time to keep her from falling on the tiles. The guy takes the girl in his arms and asks her not to worry, as he is able to go off on his own. Fen puts the girl on the bed and leaves her to rest. Feng says goodbye to Lan Yu and asks for a good night's rest today as he goes about his business. The guy heads for the exit, but the girl asks him to wait. Fen stops. The girl turns and addresses the guy. Feng clarifies exactly what the girl wants to tell him. The girl embarrassingly explains that she hasn't showered or changed her clothes since yesterday. Lan averts her gaze and asks the guy to wait and help her with this. Fen confirms with a smirk that he is always willing to help with showering, and he is also willing to undress the girl. The girl angrily explains that all she's asking is for the guy to change the bandage. The guy looks at the girl frustrated. This is not what Fen expected. Feng slowly removes the bandage from the girl's leg. After that, Fen puts new bandages on the girl's wound. Finished, Feng heads towards the exit and says goodbye to Lan. After the guy leaves, the girl undresses and heads for the shower. The girl takes a bath and contemplates recent events. Lan was astonishing to Feng. She didn't realize who the guy really was. At the university, all the students gathered for the first pair. Without any textbooks, Feng was also walking. Many students paid attention to Feng's appearance. The other half of the students were whispering, for Feng had become the new fiancé of the legendary Ouyang Boje. The two bullies said that Feng looked like a beggar, and someone like him shouldn't be around Ouyang. The guys call the girl their goddess, not realizing what exactly Ouyang could see in such a pathetic guy. Gritting his teeth, Feng was indignant that the pathetic hooligans were shouting something in his wake. The members of the karate club quickly began to gather in front of his face. A crowd of guys surrounded Feng and stared at him intently. Feng stood nonchalantly and waited for the guys to take the first step in his direction. The eldest among all the karateka clarifies if Feng is the one. Feng silently holds the Haruki in his pocket and doesn't react to those in any way. Many students gather to watch the spectacle. Everyone realized that the karate club would punish the guy. One of those watching remarked that it would be spectacular how the guy would get beaten up. Feng slowly takes out a cigarette and a lighter while lighting that one. Feng confirms that he is Zifeng, but it is unclear to him what those need from him. The oldest mockingly introduces himself as the vice president of the karate club and explains that he's come here for one thing. Feng nonchalantly clarified what he had approached him for. Vice gets too close and points his finger at Feng. He adds that he has crossed their path and is the fiancé of a girl their president likes. So they will punish the guy for such recklessness. The two karateka men lock their arms in preparation to fight back. The guys were still surrounding Feng and laughing from his pitiful situation. Feng, with a cigarette in his teeth, decides to clarify exactly what they want to tell him. This surprised everyone present, for they had planned to fight him. The vice president, not knowing what to say to such a stupid question, adds that he wasn't going to say anything. Feng asks in that case to get out of his way because it's class time, and he doesn't have time to quarrel with a bunch of milksops right now. Vice clarifies, that's all the guy wanted to say, because they came here to fight. The other students support the idea and suggest that Feng should fight for his love and not leave in shame. One of the members of the karate club clarifies if they will let Feng go so easily. Vice was not at all happy with this and decides to confront the guy himself. Vice blocks the way with his body with the words that he will not let that one pass without a fight. Unfazed, Feng calls the entire karate club pathetic idiots. Vice starts pointing his finger at Feng and accusing him of being weak. Feng stares silently at the speaking vice president of the karate club. Also silently, the guy grabs Vice's finger with one hand, after which he breaks his finger with the same slight movement of his hand. The guy in tears takes his hand and screams in pain. Without waiting for the guy to regain consciousness, Feng kicks the Veep to the side. Fen adds that it was a small lesson for him and the volume shouldn't be associated with him, because it will be much worse next time. Vice is slowly surrounded by all the members of the karate club. They were worried about the guy's condition. Vice struggles to get up and orders the others to finish Feng off immediately. All of the karateka pounce sharply on one Feng. Feng throws down his cigarette to teach another lesson. Sighing, the guy adds sarcastically that he is very scared at the sight of such a crowd. Feng encourages those to attack, calling them suckers. Vice was amazed at the way Fen handled each of his boys. The entire karate club was defeated and they all lay under Feng's feet. Feng continues walking towards the university building, pausing to light another cigarette. Feng calls all the members of the karate club pathetic scum. Everyone present was amazed at such strength and endurance. Vice tried to crawl away from Feng in fear. Feng smirks at such poor martial arts skills. It was still a long time before the entire crowd could come to their senses and realize how Feng had managed to do that. Everyone began to whisper amongst themselves, noticing Feng's strength. Some blamed it on the karate club and their weakness, while others pointed out that Feng was actually too strong. A girl standing among the crowd remarked that such a strong guy should be in the school's power ranking. The girl with blue hair was wondering what she had managed to miss in the few days she'd been away from school. Looking at the departing Feng, the girl wished she could get such a master in her ancient martial arts club. Unable to crawl any further, Vice asked Feng to stay away from him. Vice reminded him that this is a university and you can't make jokes like that here. With a smirk, Feng looks at the frightened guy. Fen notices a strange girl among the crowd but hesitates to approach. The girl turns first and asks to wait for Feng. The girl asks to leave the karate club alone this time. The others present recognize the girl, for it was Miss C. The girl didn't go to school that often, but everyone knew her very well. All the students were amazed that the two goddesses were somehow related to Feng. Feng, with a cigarette in his teeth, looks at the girl, calling her she. The guy realizes that, although she looks similar, this girl is a little older, assuming it's from their family. The girl slowly approaches Feng, fixing her luxurious hair. The girl extends her hand as a greeting. Miss Shi greets Feng and gives her full name, Shimen Piu Shui, introducing herself as the head of the ancient martial arts club. The guy remarks to himself that the girl is indeed Heman from the Heman family's Falling Snow. Feng kindly extends his hand and greets the girl. The girl tries to squeeze the guy's hand, which she completely fails at. The guy smirks, noting that the girl's hands are smooth and soft and she doesn't look like someone who practices martial arts. People who watched all this were amazed by such insolence, because it was a direct insult to the goddess. Some speculated that the guy was trying to seduce the queen right at the university. The crowd watching this long handshake thought that he would definitely be a dead man after this. Feng smiles silently at the girl with a cigarette in her teeth. Miss C was really annoyed by this in particular, that the guy tried to hit on her. The girl also couldn't accept that the guy was judging her on a mere handshake. With a serious face, Feng also noted that he didn't know how wild the girl was, wanting to continue playing with her. After that, there was a battle of glances, and a storm formed around them. To the rest of the crowd, it seemed that Feng and Miss C had fallen in love at first sight, which was why they stood together for so long. The girls remarked that this was that legendary love at first sight. The guys continued to watch in silence. The guy was already starting to yawn from the fact that the girl wouldn't let go of his hand. She was still trying to show her strength in the handshake, but all was even. The girl realizes she did the best she could, but the guy was too flippant in his facial expression. Feng still decided to clarify exactly how the girl with such soft and smooth hands practiced. The guy lets go of the girl's hand as he waits for a response. The girl remarks that Feng is indeed an expert in her field, which amused her. Feng decides to smell the girl's hand, complimenting Miss Ji as well. The girl still decides to invite Feng to her ancient martial arts club, as they are one of the top 3 clubs in the university. Many people were amazed that a girl invited an unassuming guy to such a popular ancient arts club. The head of the karate club comes out to watch what's going on. He thinks that if Feng joins the ancient arts club, they won't be able to do anything about it. The people in the crowd noticed that Feng had found a strong enough ally for himself. One of the members of the karate club reports this to the vice president as well, because they can't have him joining the art club. Vice asks the guy to shut up, reminding him what the guy is talking about now. Fen approaches Miss C to ask if this will be good for him, since they are the ones who need it. The girl interjects, what kind of benefit is Feng talking about now? One guy in the crowd clarifies that Feng wants something from joining an ancient martial arts club. People could not believe that the guy was looking for some kind of benefit in this, because everything would become available in front of him, and he could even avoid going to university. Feng holds the back of his head and asks to forget about it, for he refuses such an offer due to the constraint of future actions. Feng bids farewell to Miss Shi, calling her a beauty, adding that if they meet in the future it will be fate. Without waiting for a reply, Feng slowly walks away towards the enclosure. The girl was not satisfied with this arrangement, because previously no one had ever dared to oppose her. In the hall of the karate club is another sparring session. The head of the club sat in his usual seat with his Vice's report. Upon arriving at the gym, Vice explains that the guy is too dangerous and they should teach him a lesson because Fen thinks their club is pathetic. The head was amazed that Feng managed alone against 8 people. The guy remarks that he was expecting a small, pimply-faced Kun. It was now clear to the guy why Xinming couldn't do anything to this guy. The head sits silently pondering what their next move should be. The head summons his Vice to speak. The boy whispered something to his Vice, which made him nod approvingly. The guy thinks this is a really good next move. He was picking up on the brilliance of his chapter. The head folds his arms, explaining that even though they are a karate ball, they still have to use their intelligence at times. The head still couldn't believe that Feng was able to overpower 8 of his men. In the next step, the guy wondered if Feng could handle it. At this moment, walking down the street, Feng sneezed loudly. Wiping his nose, Feng assumes one of his girls is remembering him. Walking down the street, Fen begins to stretch. Several girls walk past the guy, much to the guy's amusement. Feng remarks that this is the best university he's ever been to. The boy glances sideways at the girls. The guy adds that there are a lot of hot girls at the university. Coughing, Feng changes and calls it a youthful atmosphere. At that moment, someone starts calling the guy's phone. Feng doesn't understand who could be calling him, as he has never seen this number before. Fen continued walking through the park. The guy picks up the phone and clarifies who called him. The girl, through her tears, clarified whether it was Feng after all. It had been 3 years and the guy had still returned. The girl couldn't contain her joy that the guy had finally come home. The guy, trying to comfort the girl, asks her not to cry because he's really back. The girl tries to clarify exactly where the guy is now so she can come and meet him. The guy doesn't immediately dare to say exactly where he is. Still, Feng explains that he is in a Chinese art academy. The girl adds that she will be there soon and hangs up. The girl calls her butler to get the car ready to leave. The guy didn't understand why the girl needed him so urgently. Feng observed that nothing had changed in so much time, for the girl had always been impatient. At this time, a girl ran next to the guy. Feng was looking at his phone at this time. The girl crashes into the guy and falls to the ground in front of him. The girl shouts angrily at the guy. Feng stands still in bewilderment. The girl turns to the guy. She is puzzled as to why the guy is not looking where he's going. She was trying to get around the guy. Feng woke up in a moment and realized what he should do first. Sparks appeared in the guy's eyes and steam came out of his nose. Feng extends his hand and asks to be forgiven for such a misunderstanding. Feng apologizes repeatedly and offers to make it up to her over a cup of coffee, calling the girl a beauty. The girl averts her gaze and asks me to forget this misunderstanding. The girl tries to leave, adding that she has absolutely no interest in such a thing. At that moment, a guy runs by calling the girl Fai. The breathless guy calls out to the girl repeatedly, waiting for a response. The guy asks him to wait and stop running so fast. The girl covers her face and calls the guy an idiot because she's tired of him always chasing after her. The guy looks at the girl with loving eyes, calling her name. Feng, with his hands in his pockets, looks at the guy silently. The guy was completely uncomfortable with Feng's presence, so he immediately asks the girl to explain herself. The girl observes that the guy started arguing with someone and decided to take advantage of it. The girl had swept up that it was not a bad chance, for the guy had gotten it completely wrong. Feng tries to understand what the guy is trying to ask him. The girl slowly approaches Feng. The girl hugs Feng's arm, calling him her boyfriend. Feng looks at Fei Fei questioningly. The girl begins to press her body hard against Feng's arm, after which she rested her head on his shoulder. Feng was fine with that. Feng wondered what exactly the unknown man wanted from him. The guy with flames in his eyes understood who Feng was to the girl. The girl explains to the guy that she already has a boyfriend, and that is exactly what Fen is. The girl asks Wang's teacher to stop harassing her in the future. Fei Fei adds that otherwise her boyfriend will get angry and there will be a serious talk. Feng realizes that he will have to be another defender today. Teacher Wang still couldn't believe what he heard. He didn't recognize Feng's face as the same guy. The guy looked angrily into Feng's eyes. Feng didn't understand what the guy was trying to accomplish. Feng assumes he has the face of a ladies' man, since there are no other reasons why girls are constantly running after him. Wang indignantly declares that a girl has no right to have a boyfriend at the university. Pointing his finger at Feng, he remarks that especially such a beggar. Feng was furious after the accusation that he was a beggar. Feng decides to reply, adding that it's none of his business whether Fei Fei needs a boyfriend or not. The guy was also stressed that Teacher Wang was putting a lot of pressure on the girl. The guy also points out that they are at a university where everyone is an adult, so no one is forbidden to have a boyfriend or girlfriend. Teacher Wang states that the girl is in the acting department and will become a big celebrity in the future, so she should not have a relationship and intimate life, because this is the main rule. The man adds that he had planned to consider Fei Fei for the lead role of his series, but alas, because of what he has now seen, he will have to look for other options. The girl clarifies if what the man is now saying is true. The man states with a smile that this is the purest truth and the manner with behavior is very suitable for the future main character. The man smilingly states that this is the purest truth, and her demeanor is very suitable for the future main character. Teacher Wang, pointing his finger at Feng, demands that the girl dump the guy and then he will give up the role. With a smirk, the guy remarked that if the girl broke up with Feng, she could get Fei Fei into her hands. Feng along with Fei Fei walking hand in hand. The guy assumed it was just a ploy by the man. He wondered if the girl would understand. Fei Fei thoughtfully looked at the man in silence. In the moment, the girl moved closer to the teacher and indignantly declared that she would not break up because of her starring role with Feng. The man was shocked and very angry at this answer. The teacher repeatedly clarifies whether the girl is sure that she wants to reject his feelings. The girl with a serious face adds that she understands everything, and the man's cheap ploy won't work on her. Unable to endure such humiliation, the man takes a swing at the girl out of anger. The teacher could not dare some girl to insult him. Fei Fei provokes the man and asks him to hit her, because she didn't plan to change her mind. In the moment, Fen catches the man's palm with ease. With a smirk, Feng looks at the teacher's face and declares that it is an insult to be that kind of teacher. The man, in a commanding tone, demands that Feng let him go immediately. With a sneer, Fen agrees with the man and decides to let the man go. Removing his hand abruptly, the man abruptly begins to fall. The teacher falls to the ground with all his might, thus receiving a small blow. While on the ground, the man demanded that the guy introduce himself, for he wanted to exclude the ignorant Feng. Feng introduces himself by his full name without any fear and asks him to look for him in the piano class. Feng, without waiting for the teacher's threats, takes Feng under his arm and starts to lead her away. The teacher struggles to get to his feet, and with a severe pain in his back, begins to walk off in the opposite direction. Gritting his teeth, the man couldn't forgive Feng for such humiliation. The teacher was going to take revenge for this. The man shouted loudly for Feng to merely wait for justice. At this moment, Feng and the girl continued walking towards the training building. All the students were shocked that the popular Feng was walking hand in hand with an unknown guy. The girl watching from the side also noticed the beauty of the guy and the girl calling them a perfect couple. Continuing walking, Feng jokingly stated that he wouldn't mind finding a beautiful girl to meet together. Feng added that the guy only has to dream about it, but Feng still did not remove his hand from the girl's waist. It pissed the girl off that the guy was too close and had his hand on her waist. With a smirk, Feng puts his hands behind his head and explains his behavior as a bad habit. With a smile, the girl pushes the guy to the side, clarifying exactly how the guy felt holding her waist. Feng looks at his hand without too much shame and begins to describe all the pleasant feelings he experienced at that moment. The girl, not wanting to continue listening to the guy, abruptly steps on Feng's shoe. The girl doesn't give the appearance with a smile, noting that the guy is very observant. There was no face on Feng from the stabbing pain on his leg. Continuing to walk, the guy reiterates that it's just a bad habit. Unable to resist, Fei Fei sweetly laughed in response. The girl decides to say goodbye to Feng, for it was already late in the afternoon and she should have gone on business. Seeing the girl off with a glance, Feng called the girl hot. Back in the training building, the first thing Feng notices is the large number of people. Feng notices that the entire crowd was heading to one place and following some sort of event. Feng thought it was strange that all the people were gawking at something. One of the guys in the crowd remarked that there had been a crash fairly recently and they should watch it. Some guys called it an abominable and pathetic act. The crowd notices the car door open abruptly and Miss C steps out. Feng immediately realizes that his acquaintance is involved in the accident. The unknown man immediately throws himself at the girl's feet and begs Miss C not to kill him. The man asked the rest of the gawkers to join in and grab the perpetrator of the incident as well. Miss C didn't understand what had happened and asked the man to get up, for she could take him to a good hospital. The man was unwilling to listen to Miss C and continued to hold the girl's legs. The man reasoned that the girl had knocked over his shop and should pay compensation for all that had happened. The crowd thought that Miss C really should pay a lot of money for the broken shop. One of the men in the crowd decides to support Miss C and states that the unidentified man simply leaned over and knocked over his bench on purpose. All the people rallied and took note that this wasn't the first time a woman had done such a thing. The woman panicked slightly. She knew she had to make money off the girl at any cost. Miss C confusedly adds that she can return the money, specifying exactly how much she has to pay. The woman grinned evilly at what she heard. The woman states that the cost of all the damage will cost $500,000. Miss C was still standing by her car in bewilderment. The lovers were outraged at the incident, and that a rich girl would allow herself to do such a thing. The woman is starting to get pissed off with so much attention from the crowd. The woman angrily starts yelling and demanding that people stop talking. People were a little surprised at such brazen behavior from a woman. The whole crowd was confused and wanted someone to finally resolve the situation. The woman smirked, noting that $500,000 wasn't much for a girl with a Maserati. Miss C tries to explain to the woman that she doesn't have cash with her at the moment. The woman smirked, noting that Miss C could easily pay with her car. In a moment, Miss C became quite angry at such insolence. Miss C clarifies again if the woman wants her car. The woman adds that about that's enough for her and maybe even more. At this moment, Feng walks up behind the woman and asks her to ignore the rogue. The whole crowd was confused as to who the unknown guy was, calling him a folk hero. Feng explains that the scammer is just trying to make money that way. The crowd doesn't understand why Feng is so brave, since he is facing retribution from the woman. One of the guys in the crowd yells that he's with Feng to the end and will stand up for him. The woman was outraged at this and almost blazed with rage. Miss C immediately realized who the unknown savior was, namely Feng. The woman angrily declares that she will sue for defamation if the guy doesn't stop, because she has people in the police force. Feng pulls his phone out of his pocket and asks again if the girl plans to sue him for defamation. Feng turns off the recorder and adds that he will sue the woman himself for extortion. Feng shows his phone and explains that he has already uploaded the video to the internet. The video abruptly started gaining popularity, and many people have already reacted to the incident. Feng wished to see what kind of police patrons the woman actually had. The woman didn't know what to say to the guy's insolence. The woman was completely crushed and stammered her words. Feng loudly demanded that the woman leave immediately, for he would call the police. The entire crowd supported the guy and demanded the woman leave. The crowd chased the one away with glee and called her various insulting words. Feng grinned at the depressed woman. The crowd continued to shout after her. The woman was furious about the whole thing because her plan had backfired. The woman could not tolerate such humiliation at the hands of society. The woman abruptly starts to run away from the surrounding crowd. She planned to repay the humiliation later on to Feng. Feng walks closer to Miss Shi. The girl understood exactly who was in front of her. Feng gently fixes Miss Shi's hair and calls her a beauty. Feng moved closer to Miss Shi and put his arm around her. He wondered if he had scared the girl. The girl lightly laughed as she called Feng handsome and wished to reward him. After which, she immediately kissed Feng. The whole crowd envied the guy's position because the beautiful girl showed interest in him. Some of the guys in the crowd called the girl their goddess. Fixing her hair, Miss C was still embarrassed. The girl asked if the guy was free in the afternoon. With a smile, Feng held the girl's hand and remarked on how wonderful a proposal it was. At this point, two unidentified men stood around the corner of the house and tried to capture everything on camera. Feng and Miss Shi held hands as they left the unknown men's sight. The men planned to give the footage to Master Ming. Upon reaching Miss C's car, Feng also lingers over to her. Already in the car, Miss C decides to find out where the guy disappeared all this time, because she was worried and used all her strength to find the guy. The guy puts his hands on Miss C's shoulders and wonders with a smile if the girl thought he was dead. The girl covers Feng's mouth and asks him not to say that again, because she has hardly tolerated all these years and can't part with him again. Feng removes the girl's hand and reminds the girl that it's impossible because he's really cool. Feng decided to remember the special operation in which his friends were killed. The guy planned to take revenge at any cost, because that was the meaning of survival. The boy lowered his head and shifted his gaze to the window. Miss C added that she tried to follow the ancient family and seek revenge, but everyone she sent was killed immediately. Feng was just as interested in this conversation, so he listened attentively to the girl. Miss Shi recalled that after the explosion, Gu Wuchang immediately passed away mysteriously, and his place was taken by Deputy Gu Tianjun. It seemed strange to Miss C that the other families had abruptly started supporting him because of what the girl still can't accept. The girl thought this event was terrible, because this was not a petty game in Shanghai town, but something more global already. Miss Shi didn't understand who Feng really was and why he was so eager to be killed. Feng, after listening to the girl, takes a cigarette and lights that one. With a serious face, Feng called Miss Shi a silly girl that he didn't want to put in danger before. But at this moment, the guy was willing to tell everything. Feng introduces himself with a smirk as the chief instructor of the Eastern Special Martial Group. Feng refers to himself as Marshal Ye Zifeng. At that moment, a policewoman approaches and reminds him of a recent robbery involving their car. So Feng, being an accomplice, must follow her to the station to investigate. In his mind, Feng realized that the robbery was just an excuse. After all, the girl just wanted to get back at him. Feng wondered with a smile at Officer Tan if he looked like a bad guy. Officer Tan states with a serious face that if she says so, the guy must obey. Officer Tan notices a young woman, previously unknown to her, getting out of a car. Miss C walks closer to Officer Tan and confirms that they had nothing to do with the robbery, and if the officer doesn't believe her, the girl can search the car. Officer Tan was furious over Miss C's beauty. She wanted to punish the couple at any cost. The officer so decides to inquire if there is any evidence of their innocence in the robbery that was committed. Miss C, with a bit of a hit and run, decides to also counter-question whether there is evidence that they were involved in the robbery. Officer Tan explains that since there is no evidence, she is obliged to bring them to the station for further investigation. Miss C heads closer to Officer Tan and agrees to ride with her to the station. An angry Tan wanted more than anything to take Miss C to the station and teach her a lesson for her insolence. Miss C slowly removes her glasses. Miss C states that before she goes with the girl, she will call her lawyer and wait for him at the police station, for it is her civil right. Pointing her finger at the officer, the girl adds that if they turn out to be innocent, she will sue for defamation. Officer Tan realizes that the whole situation is getting out of control. Officer Tan tried to think of what she should do in such a case. Feng smilingly remarked how cool Miss Shi was and was able to defend their right. Realizing she was powerless, Tan gritted her teeth and headed for the police car. Thane adds that he'll still show the girl who's really cooler. Officer Tang planned to take revenge on Bloody Feng. Miss Shi and Feng escorted the girl with a glance. Miss C immediately turns to Feng and then wonders who the officer really is, assuming that the two are having an affair. Feng, waving his hands away, states that these are false accusations. After all, the girl had a fierce look, and he is unable to match such a thing. The girl was happy, hugging Feng's arm. She realized that in 3 years of absence, the guy would not put his eyes on his friend. The girl looked at the guy's face with loving eyes. In the moment, Miss Shi and Feng get close and sink into a passionate kiss. All the students notice Feng and Miss Shi start kissing passionately. Feng adds at the end that he can't think of other women when he has such a beautiful Shi by his side. Passing people were outraged that the couple was kissing in public. Miss Shi silently watched Feng with loving eyes. The girl suggests that in the evening Feng come to her villa, where she lives alone. Feng realizes that it's hard to give up. Miss C adds that she's still loyal to him and would do anything for a guy. Turning her head slightly to the side, Feng reluctantly refuses to meet tonight. Putting his hands in his pockets, the guy explains that he needs to go into the casino and meet Xiao's family. Miss C suggests it has something to do with a recent incident. Feng was still puzzled at how in 3 years from a third-rate family, they had become one of the 4 major families of Shanghai, causing everything going on to be suspicious. Miss C asks the guy to be careful in an unknown casino. With a smile, Feng agrees with the girl. Feng steps aside and says goodbye to Miss Shi. The girl gets back into her car. At that moment, 2 unknown men observe the couple through the windshield. The man sitting in the back decides to say that he didn't expect to see the icy Miss C so candid. The driver wonders what they will do next, suggesting that they kill Feng. The man feels that this is not necessary, and they have a much more humane way, namely to ask for money for such a small photo. The men's car was still in the alley near the incident. The driver notices that Fen is finally alone and they will need more people to carry out their plan. The cocky man behind him thought that he could easily beat Feng with one hand. The driver agrees with the man, believing he was the best two-front player in the world. The man asks to finish flattering him and solve their problem on the spot. A car pulls sharply out from around the corner and drives past Feng. The car makes a police U-turn and stops in front of Feng, which didn't bother the man at all. Feng grinned and assumed he was in trouble again. The man gets out of the car and demands that Feng come over to him immediately. With a laugh, Feng clarifies if the man really wants him to come over. The man decides to beckon Feng over to him, since all they wanted to do was talk. Feng was interested in the unknown man. He thought it was strange that the man in the suit knew him. Feng takes his head in wonder what the unknown man wanted from him. The man puts his hand on Feng's shoulder and explains that all he needs to do is talk to the guy. Feng's mind immediately conjures up all of the man's pain points, which he will push if necessary. With a smirk, Feng realizes that the man is weak. The man suddenly, and for Feng himself, just pushes back, from which the guy falls to the ground. Fen is puzzled as to why a man is beating people up for no reason. A guy gets out of the car and slowly walks up to the man. Fen slowly gets to his feet. The man asks the guy not to resist, and then they will finish quickly. The guy who used to be the driver comes closer, kneading his hands. He calls Feng a weakling with nothing to offer. Guy assumes that Fen is good for nothing but seducing girls. The man looked angrily at Feng and prepared to give him another blow. Feng begins to assume that the two strangers have come specifically for Miss C. The guy points his finger at Feng and threatens to gouge out his eyes. Feng jokingly asks to be spared. The man orders Feng to go with them, for otherwise they were ready to use force. Feng was outraged that unknown guys were trying to kidnap him in broad daylight. The men, unable to stand such insolence, decide to attack Feng first. Feng S easily dodges the punch, causing the man to punch through the wall. A giant mark is left on the wall after the man's fist. The boy immediately notices how his brother's hand seems to be reddening. Feng keeps bullying the guys, asking them to spare him. After all, he has a wife, children, and family. The man doesn't understand what the guy was trying to tell him, continuing to stare at him questioningly. With a smile, Feng adds that she doesn't have the guys for their recklessness. The man once again tries to attack Feng. Swinging at Feng's head, the guy easily dodges and catches the man's arm. Fen begins to squeeze the man's hand hard. After that, Fen slides her hand behind the man's back. A clutching hand behind his back, the man begins squirming in pain. Feng continues to mock the man and gives him a strong kick in the ass, making him fly off to the side. In severe pain, a man is immobilized, lying on the floor. Feng, with fury in his eyes, asks the guy to move away from the man because he should worry about his health. The guy's pretty lost in his face, wondering what Fen wants to do with him. With fear, the guy falls to the ground. Feng slowly walks over to the guy and leans towards him intimidatingly. The guy realizes he's in a desperate situation and asks not to be touched, because he's willing to cooperate. Feng wonders if they will kidnap him and threaten Shimon's family. The guy immediately reveals who they are, and I explain that it's all made to expand the Xiao family's territory. Feng decided to check if he was telling the truth and kicked the ground. The guy was greatly frightened. Falling at Feng's feet, he earnestly asked him not to touch him. In a moment, a puddle formed around the guy. Fen was beginning to realize exactly what was underneath the guy. Feng is confused and asks for his leg to be let go, since he didn't plan to kill that one. The guy starts crying out of sheer fear. Feng was angered by the whole situation that had arisen around him. Feng shakes himself off and walks away, noting how strange his day has been. At this point, the man recovered and tried to get to his feet. The man pulls out a knife from his suit and slowly walks towards Feng. The man gradually becomes a habit and eventually starts going in the guy's direction. Feng immediately notices the man heading towards him and easily dodges there. Stepping aside, he lightly stabs the man in the chest with his hand. After that, Feng squeezed the man's hand hard. Putting the man on his back, he decides to throw him over his shoulder. The man falls to the ground with a clatter, ruminating Feng's hand to notice that the man didn't understand at all who he was messing with. Feng leaves the scene of the accident. As he walks down the street, he realizes that the Xiao family has their eyes on him and should be set on him tonight. Watching the street clock, he realized that he should already be heading back to Mo Lan. Feng quickly reaches Mo Lan's house. The girl found still in bed. Pulling up, Mo was thrilled with how well she had slept. The girl realizes that Fen should be arriving soon and should start packing. Feng himself also appears behind the back. He brought the girl's outfit and asked her to try it on. The girl was at a loss as to who was standing in front of her at the moment. The enlightened girl realized that it was Feng. The shy girl punches the guy in the face, not realizing how he got into her room. Holding his cheek, the guy ordered at the open window. Feng asked the girl to worry and put bars on her windows, because she might be in danger. Mo was still confused and shocked that a guy could climb through her window. The girl asks to get the guy out immediately while she gets dressed. Folding his arms, Feng reminds him that he can't go alone to the casino. After all, they had a deal. The girl asks not to change the subject because her legs have just healed and should be prepared. In a moment, Feng stops listening to the girl and gets distracted by her figure. The girl, even more embarrassed, slaps the guy on the cheek repeatedly. After finishing packing, Feng and Mo walk out to the car. After getting into the car, the couple heads to the designated casino. Feng continued to glumly hold his cheek. Mo glanced at the boy in embarrassment. Mo, averting her gaze to the side, decided to clarify if the guy is okay after her punch. Feng asks the girl not to worry. Mo reminds her that it's the guy's own fault, since he decided to peep on her. The girl was embarrassed and blushed even more. She asked the guy to warn her next time he decided to watch. Feng, not understanding what the girl is talking about, asks the girl to repeat herself. Mo panicked and clutched onto the steering wheel, asking Feng to ignore her. Fen notices the girl starting to thrash about on the road and asks the one to be more careful. The couple quickly makes it to the designated location. The casino is located downtown in a multi-story building. Feng assumed that the Phoenix Entertainment House in front of him was where the Xiao family's casino was located. Mo explains to the guy that all of the Xiao family's casinos are hidden under any legitimate businesses. Feng swings around and decides to open the door and step outside. The guy ajar, the door becomes on the ground. There's a moment where Mo asks the guy to wait and add something. The girl asks Feng not to call her Miss Mo, but more simply along the lines of dear or sweetheart. Mo blushed slightly at her words. Feng nods approvingly with a smirk and agrees with his beloved's decision. Mo, realizing she can't stand it, suggests she'll ignore the guy all the time. Mo is slightly angered, heading towards the entrance of the establishment. In the moment, a pink car flies past the couple, but Feng reacts in time to get out from under Mo's wheels. The girl leaned against the guy's chest, slightly startled. Feng looks toward the stopped auto with a serious face. A blonde man with glasses gets out of the car and looks toward the couple. Blondie turns around and heads for the entrance without reacting in any way to the incident. Mo got really angry about the disrespect of an unknown man. The girl started accusing the guy of disrespecting others. The man stops at some point and pays attention to the girl. The man stated that he did not see anyone and did not know anyone was standing in front of him. Mo was furious that the guy was provoking her. Feng asked the girl to calm down and stop paying attention to such people. The man calls Feng a weakling and offers to go with him and have dinner after all. Ignoring the blonde, Mo continues to walk to accompany Feng. Feng slowly approaches the blonde man's pink sports car. Without any regret, Feng starts kicking the car door. The blonde was furious at this behavior since it was his car. Feng mockingly declares that he didn't know there was a car in front of him because he simply didn't notice it. Mo was taking stock of just how bad Feng was when he wanted to be. Feng adds that he did exactly what the guy did to him. The man was furious because he wanted to take revenge on the ignorant Feng. Feng, not wanting to continue listening, the man heads towards the entrance of the establishment. Feng walks to the elevator and goes up to the floor he wants. Following the couple in walks the man himself, all agitated. The man needs an explanation from the security guard as to whether the couple are members of the club. The guard bowed out and said they weren't members of their club. The man realized the couple was finished after that. The man immediately dials his acquaintance Xiao and announces that he has already arrived at his place. At this point, the couple walks down to the hall they want. Mo explains that it is the first 2 floors are restaurants, and on the 3rd floor studios, and they need to go up to the 9th floor where the casino was located. Feng immediately pressed the 9 button to go up to the casino. When they get to the right floor, they notice a luxurious corridor and various expensive furniture. Feng also noticed this and was curious where the Xiao family got so much money from. At that moment, an unknown girl comes out to the couple and wonders who they are looking for. Mo easily explained that they were not looking for anyone, but just wanted to have a little fun. The girl explains that everyone who enters the 9th floor lobby must have an acquaintance. Feng calls their rules stupid and explains that they came simply to have fun. The girl asks security to escort the strangers to the exit. Mo is wondering from the guy what he should do next. Feng realized they couldn't break into the casino or sneak in unnoticed. At this point, 2 men also come up on the floor. With a smirk, Feng realized that these were familiar people before him. The blonde guy told his friend that he was the guy who kicked his car. The man realized who was in front of him and he also wanted to pay the price. Putting his hands in his pockets, the man greeted Miss Mo Lan. The man wonders if the girl has changed her mind and wants to lead with him. Mo squinted at the guy, not sure what he was talking about. The man was angry that Feng kept bringing out he had a girlfriend. FN grinned at the guy, remembering what kind of underwear he was wearing. Feng jokingly decides to clarify, why is the guy walking around in his underwear with Superman? Miss Mo also laughed lightly at the guy's joke. The man was furious at such insolence from Feng. The blonde asked how his friend knew the guy. A man calls a guy a loser with no self-esteem. The blonde picks up on the guy's words and approaches that beggar, not realizing how the guy even got into the building. Feng adds that better he be poor than as brainless as the 2 guys in front of him. Blondie can't help but take a swing at Feng. Feng catches the guy's arm with ease. With an angry look, Feng looked the man straight in the eyes. The guy asked to let go of his hand. Feng agrees to his request. Fen takes the one tightly by the arm and throws him over his shoulder. The guy falls toward the door with a huge clatter. Feng saw the door open and decided to approach it. The man realized that he was lucky not to interfere and stay alive. Feng calmly headed towards the door, near where the man lay unconscious. Getting closer, Fen observes a huge room with a casino. Miss Mo was amazed by the scale and beauty of the Xiao family's casino. Feng thinks this casino is acceptable, even though he was in a much more luxurious place in Macau or Las Vegas. The man comes closer and asks Feng if he's been to similar establishments before. Feng, without revealing his identity, declares that he wishes to test his luck today. The man explains to Feng that his establishment needs at least 2 million to get started, which he is happy to lend to the man. Feng explains with a smile that he is prepared and has the right amount. Feng confidently asks the girl to cash 2 million from his card and exchange it for chips. The man adds that since the man has prepared himself, he dare not further disturb the man. Dumbfounded, the blonde approached the man and reminded him that this was the Xiao family's territory, and they were within their rights to easily kick the guy out. The man smirked, stating that he didn't need all the rush. He planned to take all the money from Feng and teach the guy a lesson that way. The man was in anticipation of losing to Feng, Miss Mo asks Feng if they plan to play at the casino. Fen doesn't understand why they shouldn't play together where they should. Feng reaches out and gives some of the chips to the girl. Fen asks the girl to relax and play what she wants. Miss Mo notices a strange machine and decides to play just that. Miss Mo asks the guy to look at the cute box and try to play it. Feng notes with a smile that it's a slot machine. The girl became angry at the wit of the one and glared at him with an angry look. Miss Mo angrily melts down to the machine. Feng assumes that she is angry because her father lost too much. Miss Mo looks at the slot machine and is stunned. She asks Feng how to play it. Feng beckons the worker over and asks her to bring him some magnetic cards for the machine. Feng inserts the card into the machine and explains step by step what Mo needs to do. The guy presses the orange button and adds that the girl needs to line up the right fruit. After his words, Feng pulls the lever in anticipation of the result. Feng gets a small victory and earns 1,000 points. On the next spin, they get a series of apples and earn 5 more points. Feng draws an analogy to chips at the table. They also need to place a bet and then expect a result. The girl realizes how the slot machine works and decides to try to play. The girl pulls the lever and waits for the result. Miss Mo continued to play for 10 minutes. After the time passed, Feng was puzzled as to how the girl managed to lose everything and never win once. Miss Mo was angry, for she couldn't believe it herself. Miss Mo makes the final bet, wanting to win for once. Feng remarks that a casino is a horrible place where the average person can become insane. At this point, the more powerful men were on the second floor of the casino. A blue-haired man from the Xiao family was asking one of the workers how many chips Feng had left. The man drops his cards on the table. The employee quietly announces to the man that Feng has lost all his chips on the slots. The man began to laugh at such an absurd choice of game, for it was an obvious loss. The man demands his guards keep an eye on Feng, and when the pair lose everything, she will be half a step away from death. The blonde man at this point discards his cards and declares that he has won. The man also declares that he has won. The guard wasn't thrilled with his dim-witted owners who were completely unable to play. The girl was upset because the card account was full of 0. The girl asks to be forgiven for the loss, stating that it was her fault. Feng asks Miss Mo not to worry, explaining that he came to relax and just play. Miss Mo adds that she will refund all the money she lost if possible. Feng asks the girl not to worry, stating that he is a casino professional. Feng tops up the card account with another 2,000 chips. Feng was completely focused and determined to win. A plan for victory had matured in his mind. Feng knew that each slot machine worked according to a set program, and he would have no trouble beating that one. Feng also remarks that the slot machines in the Xiao family's casino are not the most elite, and it would be easy for him to anticipate the line. Fen decides to choose the bells for further play. Feng easily pulls the lever in anticipation of his victory. The girl wonders why Feng put absolutely all the points on the bells, since he could have lost all of them in the moment. Feng explains with a smile that when they come to the casino, they should keep their cool in order to gamble big. Feng was sure that they would definitely win at the slot machine this time. After a long scroll, Feng Yu does indeed drop all the bells. Miss Mo was thrilled with Feng's victory and his intuition. Feng asks the girl not to get so excited right away, because he has a big surprise for her. Miss Mo didn't understand what kind of surprise Feng was talking about. Feng asks the girl to look at the amount of the winnings. The entire crowd also notices this and gradually begin to gather around Feng. One of the men realized that once the guy won, his points would increase exponentially. The crowd was puzzled as to how a simple guy got such incredible luck. The points added to the total card balance, which Miss Mo noticed as well. The girl smilingly calls Feng her tiger, for he has made a fortune. Feng remarks that it's only 2,000 points, and they still have a lot of games ahead of them. The guy presses the button and changes the item to an orange. Feng releases the lever and the machine begins to crank. Miss Mo was worried, for Feng had once again put absolutely everything on the line. Fen looks at the long scroll and ponders what will fall out next. It dawns on Feng, and he realizes what will fall out next. Feng asks Miss Mo to look more closely at the next bid. Feng represses the orange in anticipation of his victory. Miss Mo reminds the guy that if they lose this time, they won't have any more chips left. Feng asks Miss Mo to merely believe in him. The slot machine starts playing music, as Feng was able to increase his score by another 5 times. The girl was delighted with Feng's game and his luck. The crowd also noted that Feng managed to raise 50,000 chips from 2,000 chips. Every man who passed by asked Feng to take him on as an apprentice and teach him such a skill. Feng continued to stand by the machine to play. Miss Mo watched carefully. Miss Mo got really carried away and asked the guy to keep going so they could collect a large sum of money. Feng agrees with the girl with a smile and continues to play. Feng once again pulls the lever in anticipation of victory. The amount went to Feng's card account for 2 million chips. The entire crowd was shocked at such a big win. One of the men in the crowd couldn't figure out who the young man was or how he knew all this. At this point, the men were still playing in the hall on the second floor and suspected nothing. The blue-haired man assumed he had the winning cards in hand with a smirk looking at his opponents. The men kept coming up with names for their combinations and arguing over which one won. The blue-haired man appropriating the victory suggests they continue. In the moment, the guard enters the room and asks his master to pay attention. The man thought that there was something wrong with Feng. The blue-haired man was very angry, for they were playing cards and were busy. The man bewilderedly asks him to forgive him, adding that Feng has already managed to win 50 million points in a slot machine in such a short time. The blue-haired man clenched his teeth and also couldn't stand it. The guard inquired as to what they should do about it. The blue-haired man beats his fist on the table, not believing that it is possible to win 50 million. The man orders the guard to stop playing the machine and sends Gu Jin to meet with Feng. The guard agrees with his master's words and immediately leaves the room. The man couldn't stand all this humiliation and was going to be the one to pay Feng all the money from his card. The crowd was still standing and watching the scene. The amount of Feng's winnings had already passed the 100 million yuan mark. The crowd silently continued to marvel and not understand how some guy could do that. One of the guys in the crowd quietly added that this time he could brag that he hadn't gone to the casino for nothing. At that moment, Feng hits the jackpot again and wins even more. Feng puts her arm around Miss Mo and wonders if they should keep going. Miss Mo wanted Feng to go on and win all the Xiao family's money. Feng decides to change the item by pressing a different button. At that moment, 2 unknown workers were coming from the end of the hall and asked to be let through. A man in a special uniform asks the entire crowd to disperse because of the maintenance that is done every year. The man immediately covers the machines with yellow tape. A woman in the crowd remarked that if the slot machine had not been closed, Feng could have raised more than 1 billion. The slot machines have been de-energized and completely sealed. Feng and Miss Mo are stepping aside. Feng decides to smoke a cigarette because he was annoyed by such an unexpected appearance of those workers. Feng glanced at the stairs leading to the poker room. He was annoyed by this coincidence. Feng states with a smile that although they won't be able to completely take away all of the Xiao family's money, their goal of 100 million has been reached. Fen moves closer to the girl, adding that the spring night is short and an M has more to do at night. The girl blushed heavily at Feng's words. Without a second thought, Feng decides to kiss Miss Mo. The girl doesn't resist kissing Feng back. The couple sinks into a passionate kiss, something both of them desired. The crowd, still nearby, marveled at such passionate love between the couple. It was as if Feng and Miss Mo were shining among the gray mass. A man on the second floor also notices a couple in the middle of the hall. The blue-haired man was infuriated by Feng's presence in the casino. At that moment, a gray-haired old man approaches the man and clarifies whether those called him. The blue-haired man asks Gu Jin to come closer. The man points at Feng and adds that he wishes he could hold the guy's head tonight. An old man examines a love couple in the center of the hall. The old man declares that this is a trifling matter to him and he will not keep the man waiting for himself. Miss Mo mused in her mind that this was her first time in a casino and her first time kissing a man in public. Miss Mo couldn't believe that her first kiss was exactly with Feng. Fen, with a smile, asks the girl to pack, for it is getting late and they should head back. Feng suggests going to the exit and exchanging the chips for money and spending some of it to redeem the sales contract. The girl couldn't believe that Feng wanted to ask Xiao to return her sales contract. Feng doesn't see anything wrong with this. He didn't want Mo Lan to become part of the Xiao family because of debts. The girl reminded him that her contract was worth a lot of money, namely 5 million. Feng decides to remind him that he won 100 million today, and it's a small thing to him. Miss Mo was slightly embarrassed to accept such a large gift. Feng laughingly remarks that their winnings are shared, and they have come to the casino to take revenge on the Xiao family. Miss Mo confirms that it's their winnings, adding that they shouldn't waste money on nothing. Fen holds out his card and asks to cash in all his points. The pleasant girl at the checkout counter asks Feng to wait. Feng states that he wants to cash in all 123 million. The girl couldn't believe such a large sum and asked her to wait for Feng while she contacted the manager. The girl steps aside and begins to recognize something from her boss. Feng, being at the counter, slightly glances at the girl's figure. Feng couldn't hold back and continued to admire the girl's body. Miss Mo takes the guy by the ear and reminds him that she's still with him. Feng immediately turns away, adding that he is no longer watching and is ashamed. An old man nearby noticed the guy's strange reaction to the 100 million. The old man also found it strange that with such luck the guy decided to leave the casino. The old man slowly begins to walk up to the counter at the entrance. Feng notices the unknown man in the moment. Feng checks with the old man to see if he plans to trade chips. The old man declares that he's not buying the bluff, because he noticed how experienced the guy was at slot machines. Feng, scratching the back of his head, added that he was only lucky. The old man states that he's seen what luck really looks like, summarizing that Feng had a well-thought-out plan. Feng doesn't quite understand why the old man is telling all this to him specifically. The old man brings up the fact that he wishes to play a couple games with him and see some real luck. Feng and the old man clashed in a battle of glances, drilling each other. Feng calls the old man the Xiao family's casino fighter. The old man thinks it's not what's important. It's whether the guy is willing to accept his challenge. Fen adds with a smirk that he would never turn down a challenge. The old man wondered if Feng had fallen for his provocation. Feng reminds the old man that he has 100 million in his pocket and has no reason to accept his challenge. The old man didn't quite understand the boy's words. Feng walks back up to the counter and asks the woman to hurry up and give him his winnings. The old man realizes that things are getting out of hand. From the end of the hall came a bare voice suggesting that Feng stay and play a little longer. The old man calls the blue-haired man Lord and bows to the man. The man waves off, sending the old man to rest. Fen wondered why the man was being so harsh, assuming they couldn't leave now without accepting the offer. The guard whispers to his master that the guy is trying to be sarcastic with them, suggesting that they can't afford to lose. The man pushes the guard away, stating that he understands everything himself. The man still insists that Feng join them and play another game. Feng, hugging Mo, notes that even if the guy has good intentions, he plans to back out. The guard again explains the hidden meaning in Feng's words, causing the man to flare up again. The man tosses the guard aside, demanding he shut up. Feng repeats to the girl to withdraw the money at his request. Feng asks that his girlfriend Mo Lan's debt of 5 million be deducted as well. The guard reminds his master that he shouldn't let Mo Lan go, which will keep Feng away. The man once again pushes his guard away with even more anger. The man devises a plan to lure Feng back to the casino. The man states that this debt of 5 million was given a few months ago, and it is now many times more. Feng realizes that the man is trying to trick him with such tricks. Miss Mo couldn't bear that the man had cheated her after all. They had agreed on 5 million yuan without any interest. The man thought he had been lenient with her, for he had given a time limit of a whole few months. Miss Mo couldn't believe that a man could be so mean. Fen asks the man with a smirk to draw the line and state the amount needed. The man offers Feng to play with his men and win, then the contract will be cancelled. Fen immediately agrees to the man's terms. The man adds the reverse side, that in his victory he wished to take one of the lad's hands, for he was not interested in money. Miss Mo immediately decides to refuse this offer, because it was risky. Miss Mo suggests leaving and not taking that risk. Fen agrees to this condition without further question and decides to play with them. Miss Mo is still trying to talk the guy out of it, but Feng was adamant. Feng asks the girl not to worry, as he had everything under control. The guard tries to help the gentleman again and notices how cunning he is that he was able to catch Feng himself. The man was glad to be praised, for he was really smart. The guard tearfully adds that he's glad the gentleman finally got something going. The man once again throws his guard to the other end of the hall. The man was outraged at everything the guard said, not understanding what he meant by it. The man introduces an old man alias Magic Hand to Feng and starts to praise the one. Fen agrees to play their game on the condition that he chooses the next game himself. The man and the old man didn't see any catch in it. The man agrees with Feng and his suggestion, for there is nothing wrong with that. Feng, with a smirk, decides to announce what kind of game he will choose. Feng calls his game too simple, explaining that he's not invincible at it. The man didn't understand what Feng was trying to say with that. Feng also adds that they won't be putting up magnetic card points this time around. Feng declares that if the magician can defeat him, but you otherwise, he will simply lose. The man was angry that the guy wasn't taking him seriously. The guard once again steps up and explains to the gentleman that Fen is just messing around. The man pushes the guard away again, for he understood everything without him. The man angrily wonders if he's worried about being laughed at when Feng starts mocking the old man. Feng adds that he will only play with one hand to keep things fair. The man couldn't contain his emotions from Feng's carefree face. The guard reports to the gentleman that he will call the others, and they will beat Feng on the way out. At this point, Feng only chuckles at what he heard. Feng pretends to be frightened by what he heard, as they wanted to beat him up outside the casino. Feng was still in the casino outside. It had already gotten dark in the time that had passed. The crowd gradually gathered around the young gentleman and was puzzled as to what was going on. The crowd realized that the guy who won at the slot machines was in trouble now. The crowd asks the old man what's going on and why the guy is standing on the way out. With a smirk, one of the men in the crowd wonders if the problem is that the guy won 100 million and they won't let him out. The men claimed that if the blue-haired gentleman did not release the winner and pay out everything, no one would play at his casino. The man claimed it was an illegal seizure of people because of their winnings. The crowd slowly revealed an old man and a gentleman with many grievances. Feng was fine with this kind of conflict, as he himself wished to collect his winnings. The man realized that the whole incident could end badly for him. The man states that the situation isn't so obvious, and they should get things straightened out first. The man adds that he is the sole heir of the Xiao family, swearing on his name that they are absolutely reliable and trustworthy. The man explains that he made a bet with Feng and now they wish to make it a reality. The man summons all the guards and demands that they capture Feng immediately. All the guards quickly surround the defenseless Miss Mo and Feng. The girl hiding behind the guy's back, Miss Mo, was slightly nervous. Feng puts his hand on the girl's shoulder, asking the girl not to worry. Feng assumed he'd have to bet his life to win. The man mockingly wonders which Feng will choose to fight the guards. The crowd understood that the guy would go to any lengths to win. People in the crowd begin to argue over who exactly is going to win this confrontation. Master was glad that he didn't even need a reason to beat Feng to a pulp. Fen explains that the only thing that is his good quality is that he never resorts to his power. Feng decides to choose one of the options offered. The crowd was in anticipation of exactly what the guy would choose. Feng chooses to play casino roulette. All the men present were happy with that outcome. The old man offers Feng the choice of absolutely any game, and he doesn't even blink. Fen suggests that in that case, the old man play craps and see which of us wins and which of us loses. The man demands the guard immediately bring 2 cups of dice. The man was also satisfied with this game. He was confident of the old man's victory. 2 dice cans stood on the pool table. The old man calls himself good and wishes to play dice with Feng. Fen realizes that it's a game of luck and whoever has the higher number wins. The old man collects all the cubes from the table into a jar. The old man begins to shake the jar vigorously. The old man looked straight into Feng's soul with a serious gaze. He was confident of his absolute victory. Feng stands waiting for the old man's throw. Some people in the crowd couldn't call the guy's explanation for such a desperate act. The man from the work group, that guy, is completely clueless as to who exactly is playing in front of him. At this moment, Feng continued to grinningly stare at the old man as he waited for his move. Miss Mo, in her mind, wanted the old man to only get 6 units. The old man starts shaking the jar vigorously. The old man decides to end it by putting the jar on the table. All the onlookers were in anticipation what exactly the old man was going to get. Feng did not react in any way to what the old man might endure. He silently waited. Feng abruptly places his hand on the table, to which the others are completely oblivious. The guy's hand starts sending a small electrical pulse toward the can. Fen does something unusual that the rest of the crowd doesn't notice. Feng retracts his hand. He was confident of winning. At one point, the old man noticed that the guy was trying to do something. The old man realizes that the guy is trying to pull off some early stunt unknown to him. At this point, the man is shown by his subordinate to bring a knife. Fen scoffs at the whole situation since they still haven't seen a single number, and the man already calling for his guards. The man thinks there's nothing wrong with that, and since his master is already in anticipation of victory, and it's better for the guy's suffering. The blonde man standing next to him also scoffed at the whole thing and was sure the old man would win. Feng folded his arms, asking to stop talking and start doing. The guy wanted to see the bones falling out of the old man. The whole crowd was also in anticipation and couldn't believe still that the guy would sacrifice his arm. The man couldn't stand this old man being so slow and wanting to see things for himself. The old man asks not to do that. He was concerned. The man doesn't listen to the old man and raises the can sharply. The man was shocked at what the old man endured. The man realizes that the old man only got 1 quality, and one of the dice broke it all. It was unclear to the crowd how the man managed to break one of the cubes. It was incomprehensible to the other man how the old man was able to shake out such a weak combination of units. Feng decides to laugh it off with how bad the combination is against him at the moment. The man couldn't stand it and pounded his fist on the wall. He had already decided to find a replacement for the old man after this. Stariki himself couldn't think of what was happening when he first encountered such a face. The man thinks there's no point in continuing to watch and offers to chop the old man's arm off. Frightened, the old man kneels down, for he has long served in his family. The old man points his finger at Feng and suggests that he used his internal energy to break one of the bones. Feng pretends not to understand what the master is talking about, because he was standing a few meters away from him and could not do anything. The old man didn't know what else to add because he had no proof. Feng assumes that this is the end of it, and he has won and was just lucky to score less than 5. The old man notices as Feng starts to walk away. The old man is still asking his master to give him one more chance because he was planning to return the face of the casino. Feng agrees and walks back to the table. The old man was full of confidence. He was ready to fight back some boy. The men agree to give the old man one more chance and atone for his sins. The man sits down at the table with Feng once more. The old man is the first guy, a pathetic mortal who dared to grieve his honor. Miss Mo reminds us that they're actually waiting and demands that the old man pick up the cylinder already. The old man scoffs at the impatient girl, for Ta has already lost her head at Feng's victory. Miss Mo was a little offended by the old man's impertinence. Feng with a smirk, age-old man confused. My principles leave only a pathetic stubbornness. Haiyan Banquo's hands start to shake. Older was outraged at such insolence on the part of the guy. The men across the room were also surprised by this reaction. One of the men notices that the old man's hands were strange, and so was his behavior. Xiao notices that you're not a simple gesture, and he tries to do something about it. The man assumes the old man is trying to do the same thing as Fen. Xiao adds that the old man told him that Feng also practiced martial arts, and he recognized it immediately. The man wondered what happened after that. Xiao explains that Feng used the cross-shaking technique, causing the bones to start breaking under the pressure. The man noticed that the way the old man behaved confirmed his words. Xiao adds that the probability of this stunt is too low. Xiao beckons a few men over to deliver the message. Xiao to one of the men starts whispering something in his ear. Feng notices this but doesn't let it show. Feng smirked at the old man, suspecting that they were planning something. The old man was annoyed at the lads being so cocky and the need for him to hurry up. Fen states that he has a little superstition. If one of the beauties blows on him, it will bring him good luck. Feng beckons Miss Mo over to him and asks him to blow on his cylinder. Miss Mo agrees and blows lightly on the cylinder. Xiao is pissed at this whole circus going on around the guy. Feng abruptly picks up the cylinder and begins to shake it. Fang vigorously begins to shake the upper cylinder from which the bones still did not fall out. The crowd noticed the guy's skill in the way he shook the dice. Feng has a serious expression on his face and declares that it's time and he's ready. Fen's cylinder on the table upside down. The old man realized that this was his only chance to use the technique. The old man took this chance and used the technique on a cylinder. Feng decides to open up and takes that one upstairs. Feng looks at what he has fallen out. The crowd also looks at what he has fallen out. The crowd was at a loss as to how this could be. The man, along with the old man, begins to laugh out loud at the fact that one could be such a loser. Miss Mo was equally stunned at such a poor result. On the table in front of Feng was only bone dust. The crowd didn't know how to react because it was absolute zero. The old man starts laughing loudly in anticipation of his victory. The man remarks that Feng has only 0 points. Feng folds his arms and continues to listen to the mockery of himself. Xiao realizes that the victory is his and this is the best result for him. Xiao takes the knife from the guard's hands and heads towards Feng. Man asks to pick a guy by the hand and help him pick up the award. Feng asks the man not to rejoice for this is still not a victory. A man who looks like a guy absolute zero. And he definitely lost. Xiao couldn't take it anymore. He was ready to cut off not only the guy's hand, but also something else for his insolence. Feng explained that he wasn't trying to be impertinent, and only wanted to finish the game he started. Feng put his arm around Miss Mo. The girl was not puzzled. Why was the guy so calm? Feng asks the girl to blow again on the dust on the table. Miss Mo didn't understand what the guy was trying to say. Feng asks not to worry girl and trust him because next will happen a miracle. Miss Mo agrees and moves closer to the table. Miss Mo begins to blow away the remaining dust after the bones and a very different picture is revealed. The man didn't understand why all this circus after all. They all realized he had lost. In front of Xiao and the old man's eyes, the last cube of the cube in the center is revealed. One of the guys in the crowd points his finger at the cube. The crowd was puzzled. Somehow the guy had only 1 cube left with the number 6 on it. The girl kept blowing all the dust against the hull of only 1 cube. The crowd realized that the number 6 was the winning number for Feng. The old man once again lost face and speech. He didn't understand how this was possible. From fear, the old man's legs begin to shake, and he falls to the ground thinking it is impossible. Miss Mo takes the guy's hand and declares him the winner. Miss Mo kisses a guy. Feng explains that he won the game. Xiao lost in his face, but still congratulated the guy on his victory. Feng wonders after his victory. Does he have the right to cash out his account? Xiao asks to take the guy to cash all the points and collect his winnings, as well as pick up Miss Mo's documents. Xiao couldn't believe what was happening. Feng recalls that the guy promised something after defeating the old man. Xiao begins to speed up and walk away from his own casino. Miss Mo, standing by the aging, laughs at what's going on. The man couldn't think that the old man had lost to some guy. Xiao was in his office declaring that he wouldn't let the guy leave so easily, and wouldn't let him live to see tomorrow morning. The man was delighted by the unique and noted all of Mr. Xiao's genius. Xiao pulled out a remote with a timer and showed the man. Xiao explained that in 9 minutes, the detonator would go off and wipe the couple off the face of the earth. The man admired all of Mr. Xiao's brilliance and coolness. Xiao declared that he would not allow anyone who harmed him in life to continue living in the white world. Xiao embitteredly continued to stare into his reflection of the window. Feng and Miss Mo head under the night sky to a car parked outside enters. Feng gets behind the wheel, hands the girl a contract. Miss Mo decides to read exactly what was written in the contract for the body payment. Feng wondered what the girl would use the paper for if she could just throw it away. The girl silently folds up the sheets of paper. Miss Mo slips the sheet in question into Feng's pocket. Fen wonders what the girl did it for, and what it means. Miss Mo explains that this contract is very important to her and she gives it to the important one. The thought flashed through my mind that it was a promise pledged as collateral in the form of a body. The girl opens the roof and sticks out. Miss Mo under the night sky screaming that she's finally free. Feng was amazed at how happy the girl was that she had finally decided on this contract. Miss Mo thinks they should celebrate and go out for drinks tonight. Feng agrees with the girl and cannot refuse him. Before this, he wanted to buy a car for the girl. Miss Mo didn't understand why the guy needed to buy a new car so urgently even though he had so much money. Feng to explain that a girl can't drive some scrap metal now. In his thoughts, Feng remembered Xiao Yi still wanted to return some gift to him. Fen grinned, turning into an alleyway. Feng makes a small detour through the city and comes back out. Fen stops in front of the casino, which surprises the girl. The girl wonders why the guy's back in the same place. Feng asks the girl to only observe what is going on. Feng pulls up to the apartment building to pull into the parking lot. Feng parks the car next to another luxury sports car. The couple walks out into the parking lot. But Miss Mo still didn't understand what was going on. The girl looked around in the parking lot, then looked questioningly at Feng as well. Miss Mo repeatedly interjects what they are doing in the underground parking lot of the casino. Fen asks to follow him and just observe. Fen takes the girl by the waist and leads her across the street. The couple climbs to the roof of a tall building and watches the show begin. Feng Word adds that he is not God to forgive Xiao's unconscionable sins. The girl doesn't quite understand what the guy is saying. Feng, you doesn't wonder if Miss Mo has Xiao's phone number. The girl looked into her phone and confirmed that she had Xiao's phone. The girl immediately tries to explain that the guy himself called her long enough and had to add him to contacts. Feng asks the girl not to worry and give him the number to call Xiao. The girl doesn't understand what the guy wants to call Xiao. At this moment, Xiao and a few other friends were in his office. One of the men wonders how his construction business is going. Xiao asked his friend not to remind him, because he was forbidden to build another casino in that neighborhood. The man states that it has unfortunately affected his family as well. Xiao called the girl from that neighborhood a real snake. The man places the glass of wine on the table. The man added that he had an idea on how to deal with their opponent's family. Xiao asks the man to post soon and no longer be silent. The man adds that the woman has a daughter who attends a local school. A man can get the man in question, and then the old man will have to reconsider his relationship with his family. Xiao confirms that it's a good idea for Yi not to forget his close friends either. Xiao hears someone call his cell phone. Xiao is in no mood to answer but still takes out the phone. Xiao notices that Miss Mo is calling him, which has never happened before. Xiao assumes it was the guy who called, and he was amused that he wasn't dead yet. Xiao doesn't want to answer the phone. On the other line, Fen decides to turn to a man. Xiao, with a serious face, wondered, what did his boyfriend call him for? Feng jokingly adds that he doesn't understand why the guy looks so shocked. Xiao was furious that the guy was speaking in riddles. Feng adds with a smirk that hints that time is going by rather quickly. Feng adds that they ran out of gas and decided to leave the car in the casino parking lot. Yi asked them to take care of it. Xiao doesn't understand what this is about and why the guy is telling it to him. Feng notes that if something happens to his car in the casino parking lot, Xiao will have to pay compensation for the damage. Xiao was completely angry, causing him to clutch his phone hard with his hands. Unwilling to continue listening to Feng, Xiao throws her phone on the ground. The man immediately decides to take the remotes to activate the detonator attached to the car. Xiao's friend doesn't understand what's going on and what he's looking for. Xiao couldn't find the bomb remote in his desk. At that moment, a violent flash appears behind the man's back. One of the men is thrown violently away from the window. Xiao also falls to the ground and covers himself from the intense flames. Xiao didn't understand what was going on or why his casino had erupted. The man wondered what was going on here, and why they were engulfed in flames. Xiao realized that it was the guy who had set him up and was able to outsmart him. At that moment, the couple was on the roof watching the violent explosion. Miss Mo didn't understand what was happening or why there was such a big explosion. Miss Mo continued to watch the intense flames outside Xiao's office. Feng noted in his mind that for him, art was a real blast. Feng was amazed at how powerful the bomb was to eliminate them. Miss Mo didn't understand how the guy knew all this beforehand. Feng comes closer and wipes the girl's tears. Effen asks the girl to calm down and asks Miss Mo to imagine it's just fireworks. Miss Mo asks the guy not to prevaricate and tell the truth. Sighing, Feng agrees that he knew everything beforehand. Miss Mo realizes the guy saved her life and she'll be able to see tomorrow's dawn. Miss Mo comes closer and hugs the guy, adding that he saved her life again. Miss Mo gets on her toes to reach for the guy's face. The girl kisses Feng passionately again. Feng responds to the girl's kiss, mutual I embrace then. The couple kisses against the backdrop of the exploding Xiao family building. At this point on the phone, a guy takes a call. Feng was angry. What is this wonderful moment, someone interrupted, but still answers the phone call. The girl on the other connection yelled at the guy for messing around and leaving her alone at home. The girl claimed she would break the contract if he didn't return in 10 minutes. Feng was angry at being treated this way. FN decides not to give the view and looks at Miss Mo with a smile. I mean, the girl realized that you're a guy with a heart like that. There can't be just one girl in love with him. At this point, the girl is still the source of the house. Ouyang and Shin were sitting on the couch watching TV. Shin wouldn't be in the mood since her chips were out. Ouyang asks the girl not to eat too much junk food. Shin explains that she trains every day and it's no big deal to her. Shin also notices that her sister is a bit agitated by Feng's absence. Ouyang waves her hands away, adding that she's not worried about the guy at all. Shin laughs in response for she understood everything. Ouyang didn't know what to reply to that. Shin suggests that the girl was actually hiding something from her. Shin receives a call on his cell phone. The girl agrees with her boss and asks to wait for her at the scene. Shin quickly goes upstairs to change into his work uniform. A few minutes later, Shin comes out in an officer's uniform. Bo wonders where her friend is going. Shin explains that she needs to go to the scene where the bomb was detonated. Shin looks at the girl one last time and says goodbye to that one. Shin thought the incident was too strange because it was happening in the center of the city. Shin returns for a second and asks the girl to check all the locks when she leaves the house. Bo asks her friend not to worry because everything will be fine. Shin walked out the door cursing Feng. She believed that the guy had spent another time with an unknown woman, and now she suspected him again. The girl calmly follows toward her car. Two unknown men sitting in the bushes notice the girl leaving the house. One of the unidentified men swept a policewoman out of the house. The second unidentified male believes he should not worry, and the girl will not be taken away painlessly. Approaching the entrance, the men burst into the house where Bo was. At this moment, under the night sky, Feng himself also came up with an idea. He bought a small present for the girl to stop being angry. Feng, in his thoughts, remarked that he was lucky only the wine was not far away, and he could easily make it home in time. Feng was amazed at how much anger was in Bo, for she was constantly snapping at him. Walking to the door, the guy pulls the handle and observes the light on. Jokingly, Feng beckons the girl over, adding that her old man has returned. Fen notices an empty room with the lights on. Fen began to assume that the girl was asleep and completely unwilling to meet him. Fen brings the bag and puts it on the nearest table and then looks around the room. Feng notices strange marks on the bed. Fen begins to assume that the girl is actually in danger. Feng also realizes that these are not the girl's footprints. Fen watches all the prints go to the back door of the mansion. Feng abruptly runs outside and observes an unusual picture in front of him. Two unknown men attempt to take a girl hostage and place her in a car. Feng demands that the two unknown kidnappers stop. One of the men turns his attention to the lunging Feng. At that moment, Bo bites the man's finger and he is forced to let her go. The girl cries out for Feng's help, for she was currently in danger. Fen pulls out his blade and heads towards the kidnapper. One of the unknown men decides to deal with the guy once and for all. Feng accepts his challenge and also prepares for battle. The man wanted to kill the guy with only one shot and without making too much noise. The unknown kidnapper delivers a gun and takes aim at Feng. Feng didn't expect the kidnapper to be carrying a gun. The man shoots the guy without further ado. Before Feng has time to react, all he sees is a gun going off. Bullet quickly rushes towards Feng's side. Guy manages to take a step to the side slightly. The field reaches the guy's shoulder and hurts him badly. The bullet gets stuck in the guy's shoulder, causing him to bleed profusely. Feng was enraged after such a disrespectful gesture to him. Feng rushed at the attacker, wanting to kill him. Unknown decides to line up towards the guy one more time and leave the guy no chance. Feng was one step ahead and was already next to the guy, something he had not expected at all. Feng cuts through the guy's arm without any regret, from which the gun falls to the ground. The man gets on his knees and starts yelling loudly in great pain. The second kidnapper pulls the girl into a car and demands that she not resist. The man closes the girl's door and gets in the driver's seat too. The man calls out to his accomplice and demands that he get back to him as soon as possible. The attacker didn't expect that he had lost his partner and Feng was already running for his life. The man panicked too much and not wanting to die decides to get out of here as soon as possible. The man takes a few last shots and quickly gets into the auto. Unknown was greatly startled by Feng's confidence, turns away from all shots with ease and continues to stick with his striker. Eventually, the guy releases his blade, pointing straight towards the attacker. The man realizes that he has never once hit. He should, as quickly as possible, get away from the place. A man hears a strange sound coming from the windshield. In a moment, Feng's blade pierces through the glass and swiftly approaches the man's head. The blade is easily thrust into the man's head, and he dies instantly. Bo was pretty freaked out by what was going on. Feng opens the doors, trying to free the girl. Feng asks the girl not to worry and walk back home with him. Fen walks the girl home and sits the girl on the bed. Bo still couldn't get over the recent incident. Shin is also staying at her friend's house to deal with the situation. The girl couldn't think that the guy was able to disarm two armed robbers. That's when Bo's father comes in as well. The man was worried about his daughter and the condition she was in. Sighing, the man was glad the girl was unharmed. The man thanks Feng for the work he's done in saving his daughter. Fen asks him to forgive him and explain that he has more to do today. The moment the guy started to walk away, Bo grabbed him by the shirt. The girl asks the guy to leave, as she was still uncomfortable. Feng agrees and decides to stay together with the girl. Fen, with a smile, explains that he's not going anywhere and will protect the girl. The guy reminisces about the cakes he bought before the incident. Feng picks up the package from the table and holds it out to the girl, for it was her favorite cake. The girl was glad to see such concern on the part of her boyfriend. Shin couldn't believe that such a guy could be gentle and worry about anyone but himself. Sien stopped dreaming and called the guy a womanizer after all. The man looked at Feng and realized that this was the perfect candidate for his daughter because he was willing to sacrifice his life for her. The man moves closer and clarifies the guy without bothering his shoulder. Fen explains that he's fine and he'll take care of it himself a little later. Shin adds with a sneer that the guy won't live until morning if he doesn't decide to remove the bullet and dress the wound. Shin subconsciously couldn't believe she was starting to care and worry about him. The man was also inclined to take the boy to a professional doctor. Feng doesn't want to go to any clinic because he can remove the bullet himself. Feng comes closer to Bo, wondering where their first aid kit is. The girl points to a nearby closet. Feng walks closer to the closet and pulls out a small medical box from there. Shin couldn't believe that the guy was planning to extract the bullet with his own hands, calling him a real brave man. Feng, not embarrassing from the girls, takes off in front of them a shirt bloody after a bullet wound. The guy had an organized number of scars on his body. Shin couldn't believe the guy had so many scars, assuming he'd had a rough fate before. Feng was completely covered in a gigantic amount of scars on both his torso and back. The guy pulls out a medical knife and takes it in his hand. Fen decides to set the knife on fire and heat it to the right temperature. With a few manipulations with the knife, Feng pulls out the bullet and tosses it to the ground. Feng begins to cauterize the wound with the lighter with a slight crinkle. After all the procedures, Fen simply pours all the alcohol on his wound. He finally puts a bandage on himself and thinks that's enough. The guy locks himself on the couch and sighs in relief. Shin couldn't believe that such a person could exist after all. He didn't even scream in such excruciating pain. The man also realized that this was no ordinary person, but a true dragon soul mercenary. Bo couldn't hold back her emotions and cried at what she saw because the guy was really suffering for me. Bo thanked the guy profusely for the job he had done and for saving her. The man also approaches Feng Yi, asking the man to come with him. Fen pulls out his pack of cigarettes sitting on the bed. Fen lights a cigarette in front of the man. The man asks the guy to smoke less because his wound is still not healed. Fen wonders to his uncle who could have planned this whole kidnapping. The man wasn't worried about where the guy was getting his hunches from. Feng continued to smoke and picked up on his uncle's feigned emotion. The man agrees with the guy and also includes his two competitors, contributing to what's going on. Feng smirks at what he heard, finishing smoking a cigarette. Feng puts out his cigarette on the ashtray standing beside the couch. Feng believes that internal dissension in order to raise business is the norm, but he was wondering if they did because of the research on genetic engineering. The man was amazed that the guy even knew that. Fen adds with a smirk that he knows absolutely everything and there's a reason his uncle kept it from him. The man didn't know what I could answer Feng about all of this. A man collapses on a couch and believes that all his genetic engineering research will help change the future and humanity in general. The man also added that the rights to his research had been sold. The man explains that this is what caused the dissonance in the team. It seemed strange to Feng that the patent for such a great research was sold after all. It should have been a large sum. The man explains that he doesn't know the details of the patent sale. The man added that the past incident was planned to keep him from traveling to the European continent. Feng doesn't understand why men needed to go to the European continent. Male explains that he needs to leave in 2 days for the European continent in order to negotiate the gold armor. Feng pondered a moment, realizing that all of this was for a reason. The man assumes he won't be able to return after the trip, and so he hands the company over to him. Fen was amazed that the man trusted him with an entire company. The man explains that he doesn't need to do anything complicated and just keep the company stable. Fen wonders if his daughter knows about the man's imminent departure. Man-wife. What tries to find the right moment to tell her, but he fails. Fen adds that she understands the man and doesn't blame him for it. At this moment, a call comes in on Feng's phone. Feng was amazed that deep in the night someone was trying to call him. Answering the challenge, the man on the backside shouted at Feng. The man blamed Feng for blowing up the city center, for he understood that it was the guy who could teach such a thing. Uncle Feng silently stood to the side and observed what was happening. After all the recent events outside, it's already dawned on me. Feng nonchalantly replied that he had heard about the bombing in the city center. The man keeps yelling at the guy and explaining that he knows everything, because only a guy could do something like this in front of everyone. Feng explains that he was trying to take a vacation, but discovered a bomb in his car, wondering what the man thought he should have done. The man added that the guy could have acted much more cautiously and quietly. Feng recalls that he was sent to the city without much reference he knows absolutely nothing about. Uncle Feng was amazed that a guy would talk to the head of an elite unit like that. The man decides to end the dialogue by adding that those two unknown kidnappers were local mercenaries who had been commissioned for the Genuine Company. Feng wondered what this has to do with the company. The man added something one of Ouyang's family has to leave for Europe, and it's up to the guy to keep the company afloat for his absence. Feng doesn't believe in such a coincidence. The man explains that those who attacked him turned out to be second-rate, characters with far more powerful people behind them. Feng replies briefly that he understood everything the man said. Feng hangs up. The guy saw the whole situation getting more and more heated. After finishing his dialogue with his uncle, the guy heads to her room until the next day. For the morning, Bo was already in the kitchen trying to cook something. At this moment, Feng approaches from behind and tries to help the girl. Fen calls Bo his dear and asks to be allowed to help him. Bo asks the guy to step back and get rid of the smell of smoke, then come to the kitchen for breakfast. Feng noted in his thoughts that the girl had recovered and was fine. Rejecting, Fen agrees with the girl's decision. Feng nonchalantly reins in the direction of the shower. In the moment, Bo decides to stop the guy. Feng turns around and wonders what the girl wanted from him. Bo asks the guy to stop smoking because it was affecting his health. Fen nods approvingly and adds that he already knows that. FN continues to walk towards the exit. A girl gets confused and calls a guy cute. A pot is already starting to boil hard on the stove. Stopped dreaming girl notices something burning on the stove. The girl lifts the lid and all her food begins. Bo notices that a massive fire is starting and begins to panic. After sorting it out completely, she realized that everything was burnt and was already inedible. Bo decides to put everything on plates though and puts it in front of Shin and Feng. The girl explained that this was the first time she had cooked and would like her friends to try it. Shin decides to tease her friend, calling her a cold-blooded and unapproachable lady who has decided to open herself up to feelings. Bo waves it off, trying to justify her actions by saying she's worried about the guy's condition. Feng takes the chopsticks, adding that he really wants to taste Bo's dish. The guy wishes everyone a good appetite and comes over to eat. Feng takes a handful of pasta and begins to eat Bo's cooked food. Feng calls the girl's food delicious and happily starts eating it. Bo was embarrassed that the guy liked the food she cooked. Shin could not believe that what was in front of her could be delicious. Shin takes one pasta and decides to taste what the guy calls delicious. At the moment, Shannel turned very pale. The girl couldn't understand how the guy was so good at eating inedible food. Bo wonders to her friend why the girl started shaking. Shin can't think of anything to explain that she should rush to the bureau. She has unfinished business. Shin immediately left the kitchen and ran toward the exit. Bo didn't understand why she was in such a hurry. Feng continued to nonchalantly eat the dish prepared by the girl. Bo also decides to try what she cooked this morning. He spits out all the pasta instantly. The girl didn't understand how it could possibly taste good, demanding that she be served water. The girl quickly pours herself a glass of water. Bo drinks a glass of water in one gulp, noting that she's not surprised that Shin left so quickly. At this moment, Feng had already managed to finish absolutely all the pasta. Feng was thankful for the meal prepared for him. The girl was touched that the guy didn't give any sign and continued to eat inedible food. Bo hugged the guy, wondering why he had decided to go this far. After packing up, the couple headed to school for classes. The girl took Feng's hand and headed towards the auditorium she wanted. The crowd greeted the couple with stares, for it was not the little-known Feng who walked with the girl. At this moment, Miss Mo also arrives at the auditorium. She wore a new dress to surprise Feng. Feng, at this point, walks into the auditorium with Bo in his arms. Miss Mo was amazed that the guy left to find a new girlfriend, since they had only kissed yesterday. Bo walks over to the table and asks Feng to sit next to her. Miss Mo couldn't tolerate such humiliation, gritting her teeth in anger. Miss Mozart asks everyone to open their textbooks, adding that Bo will tell them what they have to study for today. Bo wasn't quite sure why the teacher was paying attention to her. Feng realizes that Miss Mo is angry with him. Fen looks around confused, not knowing what to do. Bo wonders to Feng why when a guy is around her everyone stares at them like that. Fen looks at the girl and takes note of Bo's shrewdness. Fen, unable to think of anything better to do, guffaws that he's just too irresistible to look around. Bo agrees with the guy's words, smiling back. At this moment, the teacher called out to Feng and Bo, to which the couple immediately responds. Miss Mo demands to remain quiet during the lecture. The girl was still in a foul mood from Feng and Bo's relationship.